Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are here for the match that is taking place between the Gallagher Premiership sides, the Bristol Bears and the Wasps. Now, I was unfortunately 5 minutes late here. We are 4 minutes into this game, and at the moment, Bristol are sitting there on 3-0 up against the Wasps. So a good early start for them here, but I did get my timing wrong. Daylight saving well and truly has messed me up here, I should say. But we are here now, and hopefully it will be all running smoothly. Bristol Bears going to have another backline opportunity here. We have got Xavier Brown in the chat as well. Welcome in, mate. It is great to see you. That one's gone into touch there. And now the Wasps, thinking about taking it quickly, decides against it in the end. We will have a scoreboard up in a very short moment for you ladies and gentlemen there. But there are a lot of matches taking place all at the same time here for the Gallagher Premiership, which does just mean we have got more and more rugby to be able to enjoy in the next little while. But yeah, 3-0 for Bristol at the moment. We'll have to wait and see whether or not they will be able to continue that early momentum that they have been able to build with the early penalty. I am just updating the scoreboard now so that you guys can see exactly what the score in this game is. There we go. Bristol Bears sitting on 3 points to the Wasps 0 at the moment. There we go. But at the stage, it's going to be in the possession of the Wasps. Malachi Fekitoa out there as well. Also, Brad Shields. When we're talking about Kiwis, there are plenty in that Wasp side. I'm seeing Via Fafita, a man who we used to see for the Hurricanes as well. But do let me know your score predictions in the chat. Fired up for 3 live streams as well, says Ed. And tell you what, it is going to be pretty awesome having the amount of commentary that's going on at the moment. Who you got as well, says Ed. I would say the Bristol Bears, but the Wasps aren't going to be an easy beat at all. Definitely not with all those Kiwis that I do see scattered throughout there. Piato actually getting right in the breakdown there, the big man. Another number 15 jersey, what a step he has. Do you know how to watch a Pro 14 in Australia? Stan doesn't have it, says Xavier Brown. I believe, if I'm not wrong, the only place that they have that one would actually be, I think it's the United Rugby Championship website. Unfortunately, it is the case of having to pay for it, though, because it is about $15 or something per match. And then also you're in that situation of, unfortunately, it is one of those ones that they just have. Either you get a season pass or you do only get the one game. But we are going to be covering the games on the channel as well. So if you do want to tune in for that live commentary, please feel free to. But we have got the I Back the Bears too as well, says Ed Vogel. What score prediction are you going with for this one, mate? And if I'm not wrong here, Exeter started at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. now, of course, because of daylight saving. They started at the same time. They are already winning their match 12-0 up against Northampton. I'm not sure what they have done in that starting few moments of the game, but they are doing something right because they have now got a 14-0 lead over them, but it's 3-0 in this game. And also, Wasps finished top 8 last season as well, says Greg Galway. And also, come on, we need 1K people as well, says Donovan. I think more than likely, if we probably hit kind of 10 to 20 on this one, I would be absolutely just thrilled with that because of the fact it is a lot smaller of a competition on the channel. We haven't covered too many games. Jacob Umanga there, missing that one, unfortunately, for him. So that means that he can't add the 3 points. That would have got them right back to an even playing field here. No more than 4 tries in this match as well as the prediction from Eden. You actually nailed it, mate, on that one between the Wallabies and Argentina. You said that there would be a total of 4 tries, and that is exactly what we got. 3 for the Wallabies and 1 for Argentina in that game as well. But Jacob Umangi would have absolutely loved to put that one straight down the middle. And already Thacker is actually coming off the field for the Bristol Bears, and it will be Capone having to replace him. But that is something 7 minutes into this game that they wouldn't have been wanting one bit. How's it going, Hamish? Caught in the middle of a wedding, but I'll try to be as present as possible as well, says Sebastian. So it is good to see you, mate. And yeah, hopefully the wedding is going nice and smoothly. We are 7 minutes into this game. I actually missed the first 5 minutes due to me just getting the time wrong. I thought originally that the game was going to be a 2:05 a.m. kickoff here in New Zealand, but because of daylight saving, it became a 3:05. But really, it was a 3 a.m. kickoff, so I missed the first 5 minutes. But there was 3 points to the Bristol Bears. Now Dan Robson kicking that one in behind, looking for the bit of space, and it is going to be Charles Piatel with the ball only a few meters out from his line, returning fire with the big boot downfield. Robson taking it nicely once again. Jacob Umanga onto the lap around on the halfway line, looking for the link-up pass, and it's been dropped there, unfortunately, for them. And it would have been Crossdale putting that one down, and now it does mean that it will be a scrum for the Bristol Bears. But I'm excited for this game. I feel like this match, because of how many of those Kiwis are out there, the likes of Via Fafita, first time seeing him since playing for the Hurricanes. We hardly saw him at the Hurricanes as well, so it is great to see that he is going to be in this game. I reckon I should work for a sports bet, for the sports bet analyst too as well, says Ed Vogel. I mean, you keep on getting things right, so I guess in that regard, maybe you got to look down that career path, possibly. I'm not sure what you do at the moment, but, you're not too bad at these predictions. So I will ask the question, Ed. This one I can expect that you would get this one wrong, but who is going to be the first try scorer in this match? The exact player. If you get it right, I will have no idea what to do. I feel like you'll be kind of 5 minutes in the future or so. I see you going to do a game at 5:30 a.m., says Donovan. I am indeed. It is going to be the matchup taking place between Leinster and also it will be the Bulls. And then also we have got the game a little bit later on, Munster taking on the Sharks as another one in the middle of the night here in New Zealand. Good morning. I freaked out and saw it was 3 a.m., then realized it was daylight savings, mate. I missed the first 5 minutes of this game, kind of for that same reason. I thought I had a lot more time to prepare for all of my live streams, but really I didn't because of the fact that we were already here. So I thought from going from 3 hours between live streams, it was only 2. I cooked myself some food and then from there rushed into this one as well. But yeah, it's very awesome to see you here once again. Mate, we have got there. Hamish, what do you do at international level? Do you play to win? Do you play for the future? Or do you play to win now? Or do you play for the future? For example, Quay Cooper is better than Noel Olesio, but Olesio is the Wallabies' future, says Xavier Brown. I think they will stick it out with the older players this year. I think we'll go through those kind of end-of-year internationals, maybe trial a few guys like Noel Olesio once again, because it makes it even more tough now that James O'Connor is back for Lolesio to be able to get some game time. But I would say for the World Cup wise, I think they'll go with a few of those younger players in future games. But just for now, while it is working for them, while they've found that good combo of Quay Cooper, Samu Karevi at 12, I think they will stick it out and see what they can build from it. Well, the ball's been whacked down there, and it is almost going to be Uren who was able to get that one for the Bristol Bears, or is it on the Wasps side? They have got it now. It's going to be Brad Shields. No, it is actually Tom Willis breaking off the back here for the Wasps. Dan Robson looking to find the pass to the hands of, and now Brad Shields, the captain of the Wasps there. The ball has come free. Dan Robson taking a nicely in advantage to the favour of the Wasps as well. 40 metres out, straight out in front. Could be a easy enough kick if they decide to go for it, but instead now breaking the line here. Not able to link up with Malachi Fekitoa though for the Wasps. Short side once again now on the cards, and it's a penalty, and they will be going back for no clear release is the call there. So it will be the penalty. Do you ever sleep? Says Novmum. I do sleep just at weird hours, pretty much. For any time it's the weekend, I am up pretty much all night, and then I will sleep during the day when we get into that situation of, I think the last live streams we're doing today is at about 7:45, which means we will be going pretty much an all-nighter on the channel. So if you guys are new, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we are going to be doing every game that we can throughout this one. Would you like to see Tonga, Fiji, and Samoa and Japan in the Rugby Championship? I think they will go down that route eventually, but just while we are at this kind of stage of bringing in, or maybe bringing in Japan and Fiji, I think are the main priorities, and then they're looking at what else they can do because we're seeing the rumours once again that South Africa could be heading north, but saying that we've had that rumour for about 7 years now. So we will have to wait and see whether or not that will be the case. But they've got a bit of a relationship going now because of the fact that we have got the United Rugby Championship as the one that will be taking place. But now it's going to be a rolling maul here for the Wasps. The crowd trying to get behind them in this game. It is just sitting still at the moment, though, so they're not really going anywhere. Going to be passing it out. Robson now with the flat pass. Out on the outside, Malachi Fekitoa breaking the line with a good leg drive. Another offload as well. Jacob Umange gets it offload on the outside. Now it's going to be a little bit of a juggle. Pin in the ears back. And he scored the try. It was a little bit high as well, but it is going to be Crosswell in the number 15 jersey was able to score it. The big question now, though, is whether or not they do look at that as maybe a high tackle or Crossdale. Sorry, I said the name wrong a little bit there. But try time says Xavier Brown. It is indeed. And the Wasps going to be taking the lead in this game now. That is a way to fire back early. Bristol Bears, they did lose their last game to Saracens. They didn't score a try. They are still yet to score a try in the Gallagher Premiership in this game. They want it to be different, but Fekitoa with a good leg drive there finds the offload of Jacob Umange, who created the space, and then Crossdale was able to get that one over the line. Alistair Crossdale, and he was able to score it there. So I guess, Ed, if you did say Crossdale there, you would have been 100% correct at that stage. But yeah, we have got 2 more games that we are going to be covering on the channel for tonight, which is just absolutely incredible. What's up, Kiwi lads, as well? Says Coronis, welcome in, mate. It's great to see you for this Gallagher Premiership live stream. We have got this one, then we have got one straight after it. Leinster taking on, it will be the Sharks, and then after that, it will be Munster taking on the Sharks. No, sorry, Munster taking on the Sharks is the second game. Leinster versus the Bulls is the first as well. And boy, we have got some good United Rugby Championship that will be coming up. Jacob Umange tries to strike it. He's about a whole post side to the side there. So it is going to remain 5-2-3 in this game. Try as well from Sebastian. I believe is that a little jet plane. It might be a little jet plane that he has got there, although it might not be a jet plane. I might actually have to put it up on the screen. It's a B. Oh, it's a wasp. That took me too long to work out there. And the little emoji that I had there looked like it was some sort of plane, but I guess it's kind of similar. They also fly like wasp, but now it's going to be taken nicely by that man in the number 8 jersey, Tom Willis. Once again, he's looking like a solid unit, but he's dropped the ball now. So Bristol going to have the opportunity just inside of the 22 for the scrum time. Does Sky get all the Pro 14 games in New Zealand? It does not. I actually have to watch it through Spark Sports. So I had to buy a Spark Sports subscription kind of alongside my Sky One to be able to watch those United Rugby Championship games. But Spark Sport does have it in that regard. I always like watching Ewan Lloyd play as well, young Welsh talent, says Ed Vogel. And I know that he is in that starting lineup in the little bit of a later game. Oh, sorry, not the later game. This game at the moment, he is the number 11 for the Bristol Bears. Tell you what, there is a lot of rugby at the moment. I'm hopefully not going to get my names too muddled up for the later stages, but we have got the lineups that we will be showing for the match a little bit later on. But looking at the Kiwis in this game, you've got the likes of Malakai Fekatoa, also Brad Shields, Vai Fafita is in there as well, and Stephen Luatua for the Bristol Bears. So it's awesome to see so many Kiwis in the Gallagher Premiership. Does make it a lot of fun to watch as well. Great win for Benetton to come from 18-7 down, and is brilliant by their standards as well. Storm is very disappointing, says Kana Kawainen. So I didn't actually know that result, but that is a huge one in that regard for Benetton to be able to win. So they are currently, of their last 2 games, they have been able to beat both South African sides that they've played. That is very impressive indeed. And we have got there. I remember when Sparkport made us pay $100 just to watch the World Cup 2019, says Coronis. And I believe the United Rugby Championship, the whole series, you can watch it through their United Rugby Championship website. And I believe it's about 160 or something New Zealand dollars, if I'm not wrong there. Benetton is a terror of South African rugby, says it was Sebastian as well. And will you be going to the World Cup if you can in 2023? It's a good question. I don't know whether or not I would go to it, but I would definitely be doing my live streams for all of the matches. And tell you what now, it is going to be Lloyd breaking the line now, just keeping on stepping, finds the offload on the outside as well. The support run, very nicely done there by Thomas, linking up with the man on the number 13 jersey, which in this one is Piers O'Connor. Now backline movement open up for the Bristol Bears. That is not a great pass. It's gone right behind everyone, but it's going to be taken nicely by, it was Adialukan, I believe is the pronunciation there, who is the top ladder, or who's in the top ladder of the Gallagher Premiership. At the moment, it's actually Leicester. They are the only side who have been able to get themselves 2 wins so far in this competition. So now in this game, the Wasps, not sure whether or not they won their first game, but it's going to be a nice run here from Uren. And this game's looking like it's going to be played at a frantic pace. It's going to be back across for the Bristol Bears, looking for the offload now. Going to be now Piatel in the midfield, 25 metres out, but straight on the ball, and the Wasps win the penalty. And I believe it was Tom Willis once again doing so. 2 straight wins versus South African opponents. Not bad at all, says Kana Koinen. And also Souths will have to start adapting and accepting this is Northern Hemisphere rugby. Super Rugby is history. Don't bother asking to go back as well, says Kana Koinen. So what I will do here as well, while we are seeing this great run from Ewan Lloyd there, finding the link-up pass to their number 7 in the end. It was actually Daniel Thomas getting right in there as well. There are some high-scoring games going on at the moment. I know La Rochelle, we're really taking it to Biarritz in a little bit of the earlier stage, but what I will get up is the table for you guys. I haven't got the animations yet due to the fact I had a little bit, or I thought I had an extra hour to be able to prepare for this one, but unfortunately did end up, just running low on time there. But we have still got the stats on my phone, and sometimes the focus on my phone doesn't do too badly, but just so you guys know exactly what the scores are in the other games, it is 14-7 for Exeter versus Northampton. Also, Bath losing 8-0 up against Newcastle, and then Worcester, actually 3 points for them and 5 for Harlequin. So just a little bit of a lead going on for the Harlequins there, but we will hold this one up, and hopefully it does focus. Don't mind the terrible kind of crack down my phone as well, but Leicester sitting on 10 points there. Northampton, Worcester, also Harlequins all on 5. Saracens, Sale, both sitting on 4. So that is how we are sitting at the moment. The Bristol Bears, they are in dead last, but they will be hoping to change that extremely soon. Why Semi Radradra isn't selected yet, any idea? I believe he was, after the 7s, he did go back to Fiji, I want to say, so he ended up only recently rejoining the training camp, but I would say he is around 1 or 2 weeks away from getting to go back into that Bristol Bears backline. We have got 2 in there as well. Bad choice of words, Amish. I mean, their Super Rugby tenure, not the competition itself as well, says Kana Koinen. And also, do you watch any other sports apart from Union and League? Says Xavier. I watch a bit of cricket when I do get the chance. The Cricket World Cup is coming up. That's a bit of skill there from the Wasp, but he's just put a bit too much onto that boot. And it does mean now that it is going to be going back for the penalty advantage. And also we have got the, thank God you didn't show the entire phone, or my instant message would have been shown as well. Were you sending me one? I didn't actually realize it. Yes, no. Lucky I did have it cut off there in that regard. Yeah, very good shout in that regard there, big house ball. But that was a beautiful kick in behind from the Wasp player, trying to get it, but just wasn't quite able to slow himself down. Almost ran into the barricade as well, which would not have been good news for that man in the number 11 jersey, which in this one is actually Josh Bassett. So they've got quite a lot, like, I was going to say, they've got quite a young backline in some regards on the wings, with Marcus Watson out on the other as well. And then they've got the experienced Malachi Fekatoa. There is another man down at the moment. I believe it is actually Chris Vui, if I'm not wrong there. But while we have got a little bit of an injury stoppage time, I will quickly go like this. And I will go like this. I might have to do it for the next one, big house ball. For this one, I might have to just pop it up, the one that I normally got. I was miles behind going into this match because of the fact that I didn't realize we were losing an hour due to daylight saving. I don't even have the channel open at the moment in terms of the live kind of arena, I guess you could say it. And in that regard, we have got there a few of you guys in the chat. I wasn't actually expecting too many people for this live stream, as it was one starting at 3:22 a.m. in New Zealand time, but that one has gone over, and the Wasps now are going to be leading this match 8 points to 3, so able to extend that one. And tell you what, Bristol, I don't think I can remember a time that they haven't really got themselves into a position of being able to win, or kind of that they haven't lost 2 games in a row, I should say. They are normally very dominant, so for them to lose this one to the Wasps, even though we're very early in this match, that is for sure. And Bristol, Piatau has hardly touched the ball at this stage. And now I will scroll down, and there we go. I have pinned that one just for now, but now it is going to be in the hands of the Wasps. Dan Robson on his own 22 is going to be kicking this one down towards the touchline, near halfway, or is he? He has decided not to kick it for touch. So now inside of their half, now it's going to be Charles Piatau, the stepper machine. What can he do? Trying to pierce the line. Oh, he's almost gone through as well. Piatau didn't look like there was at all a gap. Now it's going to be Uren passing the ball back once again. A little bit of a spin from the number 10, Callum Sheedy, under a lot of pressure from the Wasps in the breakdown, but it is still going to be on their side. Kicked him behind by Uren once again. Chased hard by Lloyd, trying to line him up, but Jacob Umaga takes it nicely, and he is going to be kicking that one downfield into touch on the full. So now they will be going right back for that one as well. We have got there, but I forgot about daylight saving. No wonder it's 3 a.m. already, says Cronies. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't actually realize up until someone mentioned it on the last live stream we did, the Wallabies versus Argentina, and it was at that moment that I realized I didn't have an hour that I thought I had to prepare for these live streams. So that is why I guess at this stage that Munster versus the Sharks game isn't actually scheduled on the channel. I haven't actually had a chance to completely finish that, so maybe I'll do a little bit of that at halftime while we are talking about a few other stats. But it looks like Tuamanga Allen is actually down at the moment, also an ex-Hurricanes player, I believe. So the Wasps actually end up with quite a few Hurricanes players in their time. What happens here? Oh, no, I can see what's going to happen now. Unfortunately, the big man just went flying in, and it was actually the number 2, Tom Cruise, who just went in like a cruise ship into the head of Tuamanga Allen, but luckily it looks like he is going to be back up. One player to watch in this match. I quite like watching Jacob Umaga, but I would also say Ewan Lloyd already has looked dangerous with his one run. And I mean, it's a tricky one. I want to see Vai Fafita do well, I'll be honest, because of the fact that we haven't really seen him too much in Super Rugby recently. He was at the Hurricanes. He only got a few games, for Alo going to be making his way out onto the field. Bia Alo is the name there, and he is going to be replacing Tuamanga Allen. So we've lost one Kiwi already. That is not ideal. Hopefully that is the only one that we do lose throughout this match as well. But now they're going to be taking it nicely once again. It's going to be Piers O'Connor, flat ball to the Bristol Bears, and currently 22 metres out. Uren once again. They have got the advantage here. Bristol just tapping the ball back. Going to be Hughes. Offloads it back once again. It's looking a little bit rough from Bristol, and it is going to be going back now for the penalty. And it wasn't Malachi Fekatoa who did get penalised there, unfortunately, for another Kiwi, or kind of Kiwi. Yeah, Kiwi, I would say, although he is going to be playing for Tonga, I believe, in the future years possibly. But nice little link up there from Piers O'Connor. And also, I believe, once again, it was Daniel Thomas who didn't fly his way through. But I would say I want to see Jacob Umaga do quite nicely in that number 10 jersey. Come on, you Wasps as well. Cesar Wilson, Fremantle. So he is going for them in this game. And at the moment, they have got a 5-point lead, I believe. More than likely, they have kicked this one for the corner of the Bristol Bears. So rather than taking the easy 3 points out in front, they have gone, we need to play aggressive. We need to get ourselves a try to get us some momentum, because they haven't scored a try in the Gallagher Premiership yet in that game up against Saracens. They weren't able to score a single one. This is looking very set for them now. The Bristol Bears have gone down, and it's another advantage here. The ball is going to be available at the back, going short side here. Uren with the cutout pass. Lloyd has put it down on the wing, and now it will be going back for the penalty. They were only a few meters out, though, which does mean that maybe they will still once again. Would they go for the quick tap? They may even consider it. Or do you just kick it for the touchline? I think the touchline, which team is which color as well? So in the white, it is the Bristol Bears, and then in kind of the black and also with the orange trim, it is the Wasps. So yeah, Bristol in the white and the blue for this game as they are away from home. And the Wasps, they've got the home crowd advantage. Looks like there's a few people there as well, which is pretty awesome to see for these matches. But they're showing Nathan Hughes. He certainly has a big jersey, and he will be able to have a big impact off this rolling maul as well, I would think. But now at this stage, it is going to be the opportunity for the Bristol Bears, currently sitting 5 meters out. They can get this one straight. It's gone to Luatua, who has taken it nicely now. Once again, going for the rolling maul. It's gone down once again, though, and it's another advantage. So this could be possibly a yellow card coming up for the Wasps. I believe it was Brad Shields, the captain, dragging that one down. Around the side once again for Bristol, still sitting 5 meters out. Atwood was the man having the carry. They are saying number 6. So they are discussing who could be going to the bin. I have a bad feeling it could be Brad Shields. We'll lose another Kiwi in that regard, but only for the 10 minutes. I believe he stayed down as well. So more than likely there's a no-arms penalty as well, I hear. So everything is going wrong for the Wasps at this stage. But now it's going to be Nathan Hughes driving at the line. He has been wrestled down, and Brad Shields almost able to steal that one. Bristol still very close. Voi. And they are going to be going back. Double blow of the whistle, and Brad Shields is going off the field now for 10 minutes. 2 Wasps players, 2 Kiwis off the field. Unfortunately, Wasps sounds like a nasty name as well, says Novmama. That will be a big bit of a sting to their starting lineup, if you pardon the pun, because he is going to be going off the field, the captain, Brad Shields, for this one now. Sinbin, 10 minutes. Wasps are going to be down to 14. Who else have they got from New Zealand at this stage? You'd say, I guess Malachi Fekitoa, if he's injured or yellow card coming up here, they will lose pretty much all of their Kiwis who they have got starting this one. Brad Shields, he tries to stop them there, and he ends up just dragging them down, unfortunately. So that is why he has got that yellow card. But Luatua getting close to the try line as well there for himself. Like I mentioned, they haven't been able to get a try yet in this competition. The Bristol Bears, they will be hoping to be able to do it here. Oh, that looks like a serious-ish injury for, I think it is Dave Atwood for the Bristol Bears. Doesn't look very comfortable at all with that one, which is not good news, as he is a good player, Atwood, and he will be hoping to continue this match, I would be thinking. But yeah, do let me know who you think is going to score the next try of this match. I'm going to say it's going to be... That's a good question, actually. I've asked myself. Piers O'Connor. I'm going to give it to Piers O'Connor in the midfield. And then I'll say Malachi Fekitoa if it is the Wasps. The 13s for me are going to be the men who can get the next one. But Pat Lamb recently extending his contract till 2027, I believe it is. So he has got plenty of time to work with his Bristol Bears side. And they have once again kicked it for the corner. Are you going to stream the Sale Sharks versus London Irish as well? Says Ed Vogel. It does depend on when that match is going to be taking place. I will have a quick look at the fixtures. London Irish versus Sale Sharks, 3 a.m. on Monday. Yeah, why not? We will go for that one, I guess, as well. If you guys are keen to see it, that is, do let me know. But I always find these live streams are a bit quieter, but I also enjoy the factor of it being able to chat with you guys more on that personal level rather than a chat just zooming by. And I just love learning about these Gallagher Premiership sides. Once again, the Bristol Bears 5 minutes out. The rolling maul has gone down, and the Wasps, they have been able to get in there and stop that from going. So it was that big man, Alo, who has got it for his side, and it's going to be scrum. I think it's going to be Wasps, but Bristol will come back before halftime as well, says Wilson Fremantle. And yeah, I can't remember the last time I've seen Bristol Bears not be able to score a try for 2 matches straight. So it's one of those ones. They are getting a try at some stage in this one. It's just how long the Wasps can hold off, and also how many tries they can score. They've got some good players out there. Voi for feet had his pants pulled down by Voi, who wasn't very happy about that in that regard. But yeah, in the end, it was Arlo who just got straight on that ball and was able to turn it over. And Pat Lamb, the head goes down. He is disappointed with the Bristol Bears there. But one man who the Wasps will not be disappointed with is Bayi Arlo. He's only just come off the bench as well due to the injury of Tumonga Allen. Robson going to be feeding this ball, and it's gone down in the front row. Too much wobbliness there. So it is going to be the scrum reset now. Only 5 meters out from their lines. I have to say, I really like the Wasps kit. I might consider... I want to get a few of these Gallagher Premiership kits, but I'm not really sure where to get them from in that regard. But I like the look of them. The Wasp one is very nice indeed. And also, I mean, the Bristol Bears one is very nice this season as well. They are in their away kit for this game in the white, but looks like a nice stadium there at Coventry. I remember Coventry Building Society Arena is the name there. It's a hard name to get out off the tongue, but yeah, it is where they are playing. I just found out that Quade Cooper is cousins with Sean Maitland as well, said Ed Vogel. I didn't actually know that. So I guess you always wonder, like, in terms of how many of these players are kind of related. Because I know, like, everyone always makes the rumor of Josh Ioane and Rico Ioane, Akira Ioane are all related, but I don't believe they are. But kind of like these ones who have got cousins overseas, I wish I kind of knew a little bit more about who is kind of related to who, because I know we've got quite a few Barretts in New Zealand that all play a bit of rugby. Also, a couple Ioanes as well. We had half of our side, 33% of our side were brothers starting this match up against the Springboks, which was very close indeed. Anyone who hasn't seen that match already goes down to the wire, that is for sure. But 7.5 minutes left of the yellow card of Brad Shields. And he'll be hoping to get back out there, making an impact, as he is the captain as well. So the Wasps, they just need to defend and keep this ball in hand. It's going to be a good push there. The front row has gone down. Who's the penalty? It's a penalty to the Bristol Bears. That's not what they would have been wanting. And it has gone straight down in the front row, unfortunately, for the Wasps. Would you ever commentate rugby? Maybe Bunnings NPC, like be on live TV as well, says Xavier Brown. It is a tricky one because I think if they do I don't think they'll hire me as a commentator just because we are very kind of green in terms of the amount of commentary we have done. But if they were to do that, I believe they lock you in maybe for a contract. And I feel like that would be a very tough one. We'd have to try and get it an exception so that we can do our normal commentary on the channel as well, because I absolutely love doing these ones with you guys in the chat as well. Luatua taking that one nicely once again, and the rolling maul starting to roll very nicely. He's gone down. It's available, is it, for the Bristol Bears? Around the side here, it's going to be in the hands of Capon, almost stolen there. Voy now getting extremely close to the line for the Bristol Bears. Can they break through here? That's the big question. It is going to be once again. Daniel Thomas passes it to Hughes now. Where's that number 13, Piers O'Connor? I said he was going to be the man to score the try. It looks like more than likely they go on Lloyd's side, though. Rush defense from Dan Robson. Piatel stepping as well, only a couple metres short of the line. The Bristol Bears are in a very good position on the field at the moment. Lloyd looks like he is going to be playing halfback. No, decides to leave it for one of the big men. It's an advantage. Is he over the line? I believe he will be. And the Bristol Bears have scored the try by the looks of it. Who was it who was able to get it down? I believe it was actually one of the big men. I think it was Max Laheath. Yes, it was, who was able to score that one. Sean Maitland is New Zealand-born Scottish. He went to Hamilton Boys High School and played for Canterbury in the Minor 10 Cup a few years ago as well. And it is pretty awesome, like, watching all of these competitions from overseas. I just learn about all of these players that I had slightly forgotten about. You know, like, you get to see the likes of Vaea Fafita. Like, I saw that he left the Hurricanes, but because of the fact that I am following the Gallagher Premiership, I saw the starting lineup, and I was like, oh, now I remember where he went, and he is at the Wasps alongside a few other Kiwis. And that is something that I absolutely love seeing, is all of our guys from New Zealand, Australia, South Africa as well, just making an impact in these other competitions. And it does make it very awesome indeed. As the World 12s rounds happening, any news updates on that as well? Says Xavier Brown, is the World 12s? I don't know whether or not they've had any more kind of information on it, because I know that's something else they were trying to get doing. That's almost a sentence. Something else that they wanted to get going. He's actually missed that kick, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to take those 2 points back. But Bristol Bears scoring their first try of the Gallagher Premiership there in the Asian 8. I went to the same college as a niece of Buck Shelford as well. Says Nov Mum. I'm trying to think of the closest kind of, I don't think I've got any cousins who are rugby players or anything like that, or any one along those lines. I guess the closest thing I've got to kind of a player in that regard is I was on the South Canterbury development cricket team with Cullen Grace, who is a current All Black, I should say, but he's not in the squad, and also a Crusaders player as well. Are you planning streaming Women's Rugby World Cup? I am indeed, mate. Looking forward to those games as well. I was looking forward to, that's a penalty to the Wasps on the 22, and this one will be a kickable penalty if they decide to take it on, unless they go for the corner, but they have still got the man disadvantage. It was Atwood who ended up giving away that penalty, but I was looking forward to those games between New Zealand and Australia that were coming up, but unfortunately, due to the current restrictions and everything, it did mean that those games were postponed, but they look like they were going to be very good ones as well. What I can do, though, for you guys while we are at it, this is it's unorthodox. Normally we have pop-ups on the screen, but at this stage because we were running behind. I am just going to put this up here nicely. And as you can see, currently quite a few games going on in the Gallagher Premiership. 8-8 in this game between Bristol Bears and the Wasps. That is the one that we are able to watch here in New Zealand. Harlequins winning their game up against Worcester. 14-all for Exeter versus Northampton, and then also Newcastle having a little bit of a lead in that game up against Bath. And that tells us that this kick is about to go over. My phone is actually quicker than the sky that I've got at the moment. Rob Leota, the Wallabies debut last night, played for my rugby club, as well as Xavier Brown. So that is pretty awesome that he did play at your exact club. I don't think I've got anyone in terms of, because we're from it's quite a small town, that one's gone over. And it does now mean that it's going to be 11 to the Wasps, 8 to the Bristol Bears. Yeah, I'm trying to think of anyone who went to like our rugby club who is now kind of international level, or even Super Rugby level is actually pretty tough to find, I believe. But we're from quite a small town in the South Island of New Zealand. Harlequins have just scored a try as well, I do see. So they've done very nicely indeed. Did you know there are about 10 games of rugby going on at the moment in the world? We've got 4 games of the Gallagher Premiership. Then also, if I was to click on the top league and see how many games are going on at the moment, and that one, we have got currently 4 games happening in that game, or happening in that competition as well, I should say. We'll show them on the screen. Bordeaux having a good one over Brive at the moment. Also, Montpellier up against Pau, very close game. Stade Francais actually going to be leading up against Castres, and then La Rochelle having a good game up against Biarritz. I am actually going to see Stade Francais to see whether or not Nali Lamape has scored himself a try. Was coming off the bench in this one. Did not get one, though, unfortunately, and they also have a red card. So Stade Francais, sorry, having a nice one. Ewan Lloyd on the outside now. No, it is going to be once again a forward pass, is it? Yes, I believe it is indeed. It was actually not Lloyd out on the wing. It was, believe it or not, Daniel Thomas. He seems to be everywhere at the moment for the Bristol Bears, but now driving forward once again. The Wasps has got it. Apparently 2 Wasps players used to play for my club, but I don't know who as well. Says it Wilson and also Wasps as well, says Al Blondie. So they are going for the Wasps here, and they are the underdogs in this game, I believe so. If they can get themselves a win here, would be extremely impressive for them in that regard. I'm just looking through all these other games that we have had. It was V. Martin who was able to score the first try of the second half for La Rochelle. Is that a 50-22? Jacob Umunga, he knows it. He has been able to get that one very nicely done for the Wasps. And now they have the attacking line out. It is a new rule that we've had added into all the rugby. But he took this one inside of his own half, kicked it low, kicked it very nicely indeed. And it did mean that it was going to be the first 50-22 of this game. And almost, I think we've only seen a couple of them in the Gallagher Premiership so far as well. Thoughts on 2 NBL players released by their clubs for rejecting vaccination mandatory as well, says Ed Vogel. I didn't actually realise that was the case in terms of what had been happening around the world, but I guess it's a very tricky situation to be in if you do end up kind of, because I know that most of the teams at the moment are promoting it. So I guess if you don't agree with that as a player, it makes you in a very tough position. But yeah, I don't really know enough about it, to be fair. But I feel bad for them, of course, because of the fact that they are now possibly jobless in that regard. And we have got I wish World Rugby would make an appearance, make an app, And in the app, it is all the leagues in the world. So you can watch all leagues and just buy one subscription. So I want to watch Pro 14, Top 14, but it's too expensive to buy as well, says Xavier Brown. And yeah, I guess at this stage, we've kind of got that a little bit with Sky, but then even that, the United Rugby Championship is in a separate competition. So we don't actually get it here in New Zealand. So I did actually have to buy it on Spark Sport kind of thing to be able to do it. Lots of subscriptions as well. And also they should have had the vaccination as well, says Al Blondie. And also we have got I was gone for 15 minutes and the Wasps are winning, says Donovan. They are indeed, mate. And they are on the 22 now with the attacking line out because of that 50-22 from Jacob Umunga that we did just get to see. And now they are showing that man in the number 12 jersey for the Wasps. It is going to be Michael. Well, this is a hard name. Le Bourgeois. Maybe for Michael. His first name's Michael, so we'll go with Michael for now. But now Voy going to be dragging it down there, and the ball is going to be trapped. No, it's not. It is available. Here, Walter. Voy Fafita needs to find a new pair of shorts because these ones have fallen down about 4 times so far. Get that man a belt, but now it's going back down. Robson through the hands of Jacob Umunga. But they are going back for the penalty to the Wasps once again. And we have Scott there. Who's your favourite English rugby player? Says Ed Vogel. I guess it's probably one of those ones that it's a pretty generic one, but there's there in the chat from El Blondie. Marcus Smith, I enjoy the type of rugby that he plays, and it seems like he is going to be one of those keys for England in the future. We're talking 5 years' time. He could be a staple in that number 10 jersey for them. And also, I remember the first game of the Gallagher Premiership I watched last year was between the Wasps and the Harlequins, and it went down to the wire. In the end, it was 44 points to 42. And Marcus Smith was the man who scored the last-minute try for the Harlequins. It was just back and forth at its finest, and I absolutely love that game. Still, in my opinion, one of the best rugby games of the Gallagher Premiership I've ever seen, because it was just intense. Brad Shields, he's getting a bit of a round of applause from the home crowd here at Coventry, because they want to see him back out there after his yellow card as well. And also Wati as well, or Wati, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, from Donovan Phillips as well. But at this stage, already losing one Kiwi, Tuamonga Allen. He was taken off the field with an injury, but now he is going to be back out there for them now. Going to the front there. It's going to be taken nicely by via Fafita. I keep on trying to say Walter Fafita, but of course he is the Tongan international. It's not really going too far for the Bristol Bears defence. They have been able to slow it down very nicely, and now the Wasps, they are going to be going to the big forwards. Brad Shields already getting a carry runner straight at Vui. And that number 5, Jesse Robson, now offloading, and now it's a flat ball getting close to the line now. Now, I said either number 13 could be the try scorer, so this needs to go to, it would be Malachi Fikatoa if I was going to be right, but then I normally am wrong in that regard. Still available for them. Actually, I just realized there was a try since I mentioned that. What is the man behind your name as well, says Donovan? This is Kieran, and he is a giant inflatable All Black. So that is why he's not just a random blow-up doll that I have got in my lounge. He is actually kind of a prop that's going to be a try. And it's another try for Alistair Crossdale, scoring himself 2 in this game so far in the Wasps. They are going to take an 8-point lead with a kick to come. They are on fire in this game at the moment in front of their home crowd. That is for sure. We will put that back up on the screen. But we have got favourite Irish player, says Ed. Don't really have a favourite Irish player as well, says Al Blondie in the chat. But I would say for myself, it's a tough one. I'm going to say I enjoy watching Tyke Furlong play just because of the fact he is an absolute beast and he's got a step and he's a prop. So that just generically doesn't make sense that that man can step as well as he can. But I would say quite enjoy. I mean, I don't mind watching someone like a Robbie Henshaw in that back line or something along those lines. He is just very consistent for him in that regard. But there are actually a couple young players. Belcoon or something along those lines, I think is the name. He is actually looking like he's going to be an up-and-coming talent for them as well. Bowden Barrett is my favourite as well, says Wilson. Also, we have got, do you have pets? I do have one pet, and it is Billy. He is a cat, and there is actually a channel membership emoji that has his face, but I'm not sure whether or not, have we got any channel members here? Sebastian, if you are kind of having a break from your wedding, would you like to put wait a minute, I am a channel member. I am actually the channel. So surely I do have access. There he is. We'll put a couple Billy emojis in the chat there for you guys. Hopefully it will work. I think it's just frozen. All right, there we go. The Billy's emojis in the chat. That is what my cat looks like. I just realized that I can do that as well. Irish as well, says Wilson. And also we have got there, do you think the Box can beat the ABs next game, says Ed Vogel? I think it's going to be a lot closer in that regard, although not in terms of closer than the 2 points. I think it's going to be both sides are going to play their best rugby, because I always kind of thought about it this way. This game was the 100th game, but really for me, it felt like the 99th. And the reason I say that is because both of these sides have had their 80 minutes of feeling out. The All Blacks, they will work on the handling errors. The Springboks, they will work on the discipline and the kicking. And then this game next week is going to be just an absolute awesome one. And I am very excited for it. 10:05 p.m. going to be the kickoff here in New Zealand. Piatow now driving forward. Going to be wrestled almost down to the ground, but he is still going, Charles Piatow. Trying his very best indeed. Now it's going to be passed back once again. The back line of the Bristol Bears. It's been dropped though. Malachi Fikatoa almost having that ball, but he has been tackled. Loose ball, and it is going to be once again Crossdale getting that ball in. And tell you what, anytime he's touched the ball, it has turned into try. Irish is Johnny Sexton, and he is going to be playing in that game between Leinster and also the Bulls that's coming up in only a couple hours' time. And no, Springboks is will not win as well, says Al Blondie. And also we have got the yes, I have a cat as well, says Al Blondie in the chat. And also we have got there, can you subscribe to me as well, says Donovan Phillip. If I do remember after this live stream, I will try and put your name in there, mate. It won't be on the Kiwi Lads channel though, because of the fact that I always subscribe on a different account, because I kind of use my personal account for any subscriptions or anything like that. The Kiwi Lads, I think we have a very bare minimum amount of people that we are subscribed to on it as well. Jacob Stockdale is pretty good. He is indeed another good player to watch. And all of these players that we are mentioning as well, They are all going to be playing rugby very soon. We have also got the autumn internationals, or the November internationals, I should say, that are coming up. But quickly, before we get into that too much, tell you what, it's a bit of a high-scoring game between the Exeter Chiefs and also Northampton, because they are sitting 21 points to 17 at the moment in that game. Harlequins with a good win, or good lead, I should say, over Worcester and then Newcastle. Oh, another player looks like he's going off the field here. And unfortunately, by the looks of it, other than the fact that, it's going to be Leula making his way off the field in the number 12 jersey. But those are all the results at this stage, or how it is going at the moment. Do you have a dog? I do not have a dog, unfortunately, there. I would like to get one at some stage. But, at this stage, we've only got a cat who we've had for around, I think it's like 14 or 15 years, if I'm not wrong. He's relatively old, but it is going to be Bedlow who will be the replacement there. And that is Sam Bedlow. So they've both had an injury in this game so far, the Wasps and also the Bristol Bears at the back now for the Wasps. That's a big push from the Bears, though, trying to get it. Another breakdown now. Dan Robson going for the 50-22 now. So maybe that is something that the Wasps will use throughout this match. That is a terrible kick there from Charles Piatel. Real mistake from that man. And now because of it, it will be the Wasps just outside of the 22. We have got, no, I don't have a dog as well, says Al Blondie there. But at this stage, the Wasps in this competition, it is not 3 or more tries ahead of your opponent, if I'm not wrong there. I believe they are actually 4 tries gets you the bonus point. So that will be what both sides will be aiming for here. But they are showing Bedlow there. Do you watch Major League Rugby? I didn't get to watch it as much as I wanted to last season, but I am certainly keen on watching along with it a lot more. There are quite a few Australians over there, the likes of Adam Ashley Cooper, Matt Giddo. Beautiful inside ball there to the hands of Watson, 22 metres out now for the Wasps. And they are at the moment playing at a tempo that is very impressive. Once again, it will be Cruz in the number 2 jersey. Robson going short side. Tuamunga Allen's actually back out on the field, so I believe he went off for an HIA, but now he has returned. And tell you what, it was Arlo who was actually able to do very decent. And in that regard, 30 seconds left in this one. It's going to be the step here for Malachi Fekitoa. Fending off, trying to find the offload. Not quite able to link up, though. 25 metres out from the line. Robson passes it across now. It's going to be the big man in the number 5 jersey, which in this one is Stuke, Elliot Stuke. Passing it back once again. Brad Shields looks for the offload, dropped the ball, but he has kicked it back, and it is going to be in the hands now of, once again, tell you what, Daniel Thomas. I need to start remembering that name because he's been absolutely everywhere in this first half. Luatua now going to be dragged down by the Wasps. They are currently a few metres out from their own line now, so maybe they just consider kicking it into touch there inside of their 22, but instead it looks like it's going to be a quick backline movement and try and get something going. Another offload from that man, and now Charles Piatel with a bit of a rough pass. It's gone backwards, and it is still available for the Bristol Bears. Malachi Fekitoa, he's injured. No, we can't lose another Kiwi in this game. They're one of the only names that I can say consistency as well. What country do they live in? It looks like as well, says Donovan. I am in New Zealand, I should say. So that is one of those ones. At the moment, we are sitting 3:48 a.m., and now it's going to be a good one for the Bristol Bears. Oh, that was a little bit harsh, kicking the ball in behind, because now it will be Crossdale who's got this ball, and he's not going to kick it out. He's going for the counter-attack here, Crossdale. And Robson now, he looks like he will be kicking it into touch. And it will be halftime, and the score at halftime, 16 points to the Wasps and 8 to the Bristol Bears. But pretty much, it may look late now, but I can promise you by the end of these live streams that I am doing tonight, it will be sunny outside, or it will at least be light, because we are going to be going through right until around 10 a.m. New Zealand time for all of the matches that we have got on today. I know I watch Premier League as well, says Al Blondie. And also, if the ABs have a clean sweep in the Rugby Championship this year, what team will stop their winning streak in October now? It's a good question there, Ed. And I will quickly get some stats up as well in terms of who they are going to be playing, because I know they play Wales. I know that they also have a game up against France. That could be a good game in that regard. And then also they have got Ireland. Ireland's always one that you can't look too far past for those guys in the Green Cat. And also USA and Italy are all the matches that they have got. I am going to once again put it up on the screen for you guys to be able to see. So France, also Ireland, Italy, Wales, and the USA. So I would say out of all those sides, maybe Ireland and France, those 2 later games are probably their biggest challenges. But then Wales is another side that you can't really count out at times, because there we go, we are back into focus. They are just one of those sides that if they dig down deep, they could be able to get themselves a win. I live in South Africa. It is 4:30. I believe it would be 4:30 p.m. if I'm not wrong there, Donovan. And also we have got their halftime Wasps ahead, says Al Blondie. And tell you what, they're doing nicely. Wait, Al Blondie, were you going for the Wasps, or were you... Oh, no, it was Wilson going for the Wasps. At this stage, we will have to wait and see whether or not it will continue to be the case, I should say, for the later stages of this game as well. But I hope you guys are enjoying this live stream. Like I mentioned, it will be a little bit quieter than some of the other live streams that we do on the channel, but I always have just as much fun for these ones because of the fact I get a chance to really talk to you guys on an individual level rather than the quickness of everything else that does go on those bigger live streams. Xavier Brown has said, I reckon the Wallabies are as good as the All Blacks, but it's a mental thing that stuffs the Wallabies as well, says Xavier Brown. Yeah, unfortunately for them, they just keep on, they do well. Like the Wallabies in their match up against Argentina, they did well, but they didn't manage to really assert that dominance that a lot of people thought that they would be able to over Argentina. And at the end of the day now, they need to make sure that they go into the next match up against Argentina a little bit more cautious because Argentina, they had a few moments in that one. Marcos Crema is one player that unfortunately just didn't quite find his mojo in that regard for that game. And it is also, it's 350 here as well, says El Blondie. So you are in, I believe, if I'm not wrong, if it is 350 there, you must be, are you in South Africa as well, El Blondie, or are you actually, you might be in the UK actually, sorry, maybe. Do let me know. And what made a good number 12 player as well, says Ed Vogel. I think it is just one of those ones that you need to be able to take contact, but you also need to be able to distribute the ball. And someone who does that very well at the moment for the Wallabies, if we are talking about Wallabies as well, Samu Karevi. He will hit the ball up many, many times throughout a match, and he breaks tackles, which is also very dangerous for the defensive sides. But I would say overall, it is just coming down to the factor of you want to make sure that you set up the guy on your outside, which is something that Samu Karevi does very well with that offload as well, but then also able to take contact and also able to defend pretty well as well. I feel like I've pretty much listed everything that most rugby players want to be able to do. But do let me know, Ed, what your thoughts are on that as well. I think we all have a soft spot for the Argentines as well, says Xavier Brown. Yeah, I sort of certainly do. Like the respect I have for those guys, like they just travel around the world, continuing to play rugby as well. Even if they lose, they are still on a plane and they are going somewhere else across the world. They went to Wales. They were in, I think it was somewhere else in South America other than Argentina, Australia, South Africa. These guys just keep on traveling and they never complain. They always go, right, it's what we're doing. We love to play rugby up against these guys, so we're just going to keep on doing it. And yeah, that is something that I have huge respect for them in that regard because of the fact it's not easy being away from your families for like 6 months to a year like these guys have been. They've really probably built up a tight-knit group of kind of players because they've spent so long being in that same kind of group. And we have got there, Donovan has said, do you like soccer? And I bet the All Blacks once as well, says Al Blondie. And yes, I love football, says Al Blondie in the chat as well. And I'm actually hoping to be able to get the Kiwi Lad Sport channel up and running very soon. And we will be covering more than just rugby on that channel. We will be covering the likes of cricket, UFC possibly could be another option, and just a whole heap of live commentary for a whole heap of sports because I absolutely love doing these. And you guys seem to really enjoy them as well. So the more that I can do, 100% the better in that regard. But I am just quickly, actually, believe it or not, I am currently working on the thumbnail for the match between the Sharks and Munster that will be taking place in just a short moment. But I will also, while doing that, get up some stats about this match because there have been probably quite a few running meters for that man in the number 15 jersey who has been able to score 2 tries in this one. And that is, of course, Alistair Crossdale is the name there. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting second half because the Bristol Bears, they won't want to lose 2 in a row. The Wasps, they've found themselves some decent momentum building in this one as well. And I'm going to see what the other scores at halftime are at the moment in the world of the Gallagher Premiership because we had a few high-scoring ones so far. In that regard, there we go. We have got their Bath are currently losing to Newcastle, 20 points to the 3. Then Exeter and Northampton still being very close. Harlequins having a good run away up against Worcester, and also Wasps taking on the Bristol Bears is the game that we are covering on the channel at the moment. And also London Irish versus Sale we are going to be watching tomorrow. I love the Euros as well, says Al Blonding. And also we have got there, would you like to see the Shoot Shield and Bunnings NPC and Queensland Cup join Super Rugby and make it a promotion and relegation competition, says Xavier Brown. I like the idea of the kind of relegation promotion zone, although the big problem for, I'm not sure whether or not it's the same for the Australian sides, but for the New Zealand sides, a lot of these guys who play for the Super Rugby sides play for the provincial teams, if that makes sense, but it would mean that you do get a lot more young talent coming through the ranks as well. So maybe, I guess I would be very keen to try that on something like a rugby challenge or something, as I do play a little bit of a rugby on the old Xbox. We're going to be starting a Be a Pro mode very soon as well, which should be exciting. But also exciting in this game is the amount of running meters that we have seen so far. 160 for the Bristol Bears, 101 for it was the Wasps, who are actually the home side in this game, but they have certainly been playing like a side that's got a little bit more spring in their step for the early stages. 12 defenders beat into the 5. Also, offloads 10 by the Bristol Bears. Tackles very even in that regard. 47 and 49 for either of these sides here. And we will get some player stats as well in that regard while we wait for the second half to get back underway. We are getting very close, though. At the moment, they are showing a game between Auckland and Canterbury, speaking of the Bunnings NPC here in New Zealand. And I'm excited to see the games tomorrow. I hope I will be awake for them, but I feel like I will have to crash at some stage because by then I would have been up for 24 hours straight. And a lot of live streams would have been going on in that time as well. But yeah, we will wait and see how he goes. So Alistair Crossdale, they've only given him a total of 24 metres carried, although he ran 24 metres in just one of his carries. Charles Piatel so far has had 39 metres carried and 30 for Andy Urin as well. So they haven't really updated those stats too much at this stage, but that is all right. We are going to get to see them at the end of the match as well. First female ref at the Quins game as well, says Al Blondie. And the one thing that I do kind of not like about the Gallagher Premiership is the fact that we can only see one game at a time here in New Zealand. Like for us, there are 4 games going on at the moment. And I really wanted to watch that Harlequins Worcester game. And also Exeter Northampton looked like it was going to be a very good one going into it. But yeah, as you can see there, Sky Sport 9 is the only one that is shown it in New Zealand. And it is the Wasps versus Bristol. So we're kind of isolated to the game that they decide to show is the game that we get to see type thing here in New Zealand, as they just don't really show all of the games, which is a shame because I would love to be able to watch them all. Definitely on replay as well for the ones that I have missed, which is good about Spark Sport because they actually have full match replays that I will be able to watch of the United Rugby Championship. It is coming up very soon. It's going to be an exciting one because Munster are going to be taking on the Sharks as a second game, which is both relatively South Africa-based teams, I want to say, because of the likes of R.G. Snyman coming off the bench. And then you've also got Ireland, that wasn't a word, Leinster from Ireland was the name that it was coming to mind, versus the Bulls. Very exciting game in that regard as well. But we should only be a few moments away from the second half getting back underway. Do let me know who you think is going to be the first try scorer of the second half. If you do get it right, you get a virtual cookie we will go with because of the fact that I don't know what else I can offer at a guide of 4 a.m. in New Zealand. But we'll see how it goes. We will wait and see. We've got in the chat as well from a little bit earlier on. I just realized as well, in terms of that promotion and relegation, I feel like that would be something that maybe would they look at doing in one of these overseas competitions because of the fact the Gallagher Premiership, they have got the Gallagher Premiership and then they have got the Championship down below. So would they ever go for a Pro 14 United Rugby Championship relegation and promotion? Because we have also seen that they have recently added power rankings where they kind of have a big system of how the players perform. They get certain ratings in that regard as well. But yeah, hopefully we do get to see plenty more rugby evolving. I know that they want to see the Rugby World Cup every 2 years, but we will have to wait and see whether or not they do decide to go through with that one in that regard. But yeah, at this stage, my voice luckily is holding up not too badly. I thought that it would be struggling at this stage as we have already done around 4.5, if not 5 hours actually, of live stream so far, maybe even 5.5, 6. Tell you what, it's actually, I've almost done a full-time job, 8 hours before we've had 2 more matches that are going to be taking place. I believe after this one, we will be up to that mark, which is very awesome indeed. The vocal cords, they struggle sometimes, but for now, it's feeling not too bad, and we will get to reward myself with some sort of maybe biscuit after this, after all the live streams have taken place as well, but we are just waiting for the second half to get underway. We have got there from Ed Vogel into number 12, a good number 12, sorry. Need to have a quick hands, a dynamic runner, accurate for both exposing gaps in the opponent's defense and strong enough to tackles in good timing as well, says Ed Vogel. And I will ask the question, Ed, of the players in the Rugby Championship, who would you say is the best in that regard? I know that Samu Korea is probably right up there, but then who else? I guess, actually, not just the Rugby Championship. We will extend it a little bit more. You can go Super Rugby as well if you do want to. But who would you say is another player in that number 12 jersey that really is, going to be good in the future? I mean, David Harvili is a player who has been mentioned quite a bit as being one of the most informed number 12s up until maybe this game. Unfortunately, just didn't quite get their hands in the ball. You're not allowed to put your hand in the ball. I assume that would be an illegal play. And I don't know how you get your hand in the ball now that I think about it. There's only a very small hole for the blow-up pump to go in. But it's a tricky one in terms of who to say would be number 12 next week. I think it will be Havili, but 13 is the one that I'm very curious about for the All Blacks. I think they've got to mix it up a little bit and go Anton Lienert-Brown 13, Rieko Ioane at 11, maybe, is my prediction there. But Rieko, pure pace, was kind of shut down a little bit, so I feel like putting him out on the wing. George Bridge had a couple opportunities in the open, but he wasn't really able to run in a kind of a quick enough state. Am I wrong about this? But did Tupou go from Tonga to New Zealand, then to Australia? I believe so. I think he had the option of either playing for New Zealand or Australia, and he did choose Australia in that regard. But yeah, he is nicknamed the Tongan Thor. He is an absolute beast out on the field, 135 kgs, and he is just a unit and a half. You know, he's one of those players that he's still young as well, Taniela Tupou. I don't believe he's too far up there in terms of age. I'm going to look it up as well. I always wish I was better at typing so that I could kind of type them in very quick. He's only 25. He's only a few years older than me, and he is at the moment an absolute beast in his prime in terms of his form at the moment as well. So I'm hoping to see him not just in the next World Cup, and maybe even the World Cup after, depending on how it goes for him. But we haven't got there in the chat about Taniela Tupou. And there are a few good, I mean, I feel like that's something that New Zealand maybe aren't as in depth with as maybe like a Wallabies, because of the fact we seem to be struggling a little bit in terms of with injuries recently for our kind of loose forwards is another one that we are kind of struggling. Douglas Papali out with a hamstring strain. Luke Jacobson recently out because of the stomach bug. So who do you bring in? If you were to bring in someone, I feel like that was about 50 questions put into one, but my big question here is if you were to bring in one player who is playing, who is available for playing for the All Blacks in that loose forward jersey, who would you bring into that All Blacks squad? I would say, for me, Boshi is up there, but he is in Japan at the moment, so he won't be able to play. So I would say also maybe Tom Robertson isn't a terrible shout. Big Red for Northland at the moment, tearing it up in the Bunnings NPC, and the Blues, of course, for their Super Rugby Trans-Tasman victory. But I would say maybe him, and then Billy Harmon is another player who I wouldn't mind seeing get a chance at kind of All Blacks level as well. Tupou was 135 kgs at high school. That's massive for someone at high school. Imagine him running at you when you're at high school. Imagine him running at you just at any time. You just get broken in half by the big man. We saw it in that game up against Argentina. He tried, or someone tried to tackle him. I believe it was Bertrand. His arms almost weren't long enough to wrap around Taniela Tupou's leg. Oh, yeah, it's got their Havili as the best number 12, other than Karevi as well, says Evo. And yeah, at the moment, it is just showing as well that if you've got someone at number 12 who can really kind of get the go forward going for that back line, like Quade Cooper and Samu Karevi as a combo, I think it's very strong at the moment. But Karevi, he will always give you about 15 carries in a match, and every time he makes meters. And that kind of skill and also power just is almost like it's kryptonite, or it's not kryptonite, it's dynamite. That's the wrong word. It's gold. I'll just say gold because I can't think of the right kind of metal. But it's just absolutely incredible to have someone who can keep on pushing you forward and just be able to keep that go forward going, because when you get stuck, we see it phase after phase. You can't go anywhere, but when you do get your way through there, then that is when you really manage to do good things for that one indeed. But yeah, at this stage, this has been a long halftime break. I have just realized for this match at the moment, but we are just about to be back. I see the players are out on the field. I see a Watson out there on the wing as well. So the Wasps, they have actually had to make a change. Oh, Malachi Fekitoa is off the field. I mentioned it before the match. I said that I didn't want to see all the Kiwis getting injured, but the Kiwis are getting injured. Tuamunga Allen. Also, it was the injury a little bit earlier on of Malachi Fekitoa that now means that Jimmy Gothith is going to get the opportunity for the Wasps to do this one. Do you have to play club rugby in New Zealand to be able to play for the All Blacks like the Wallabies? Ghetto law as well, says Xavier Brown. That's a good question. I know that Lachlan Boshier, because he was going to Japan, wasn't going to be able to play for the All Blacks. But I'm not too sure about kind of club level. I assume you have to have some sort of situation like that, because I know a player who's one to look out for in the future is Folau Fakatava for the All Blacks, because I believe he is eligible in about 3 years to be able to play for them. But before then, he is eligible for Tonga. And more than likely, I would love to be able to see him play for Moana Pacifica, because they will be currently looking for a lot of players, and there is a lot of talent throughout Super Rugby. Also, the Bunnings NPC, you could actually put together a pretty solid side from Bunnings NPC teams, kind of linking them all together. But now it is going to be the opportunity once again for the Wasps at scrum time. They are just showing at this stage. Bedlow has come on for the injury earlier on of Leula. Malakai Whekatawa, he is off the field, and Jimmy Goffith is now out there as well. I didn't actually realize he was still playing as many seasons as he was. I remember seeing him play for the Hurricanes many, many years ago. But now at this stage, he is going to be getting an opportunity for the Wasps. It's a little bit isolated at the back. Tom Willis not able to get that ball out, and it's a penalty there to the Wasps. And now at this stage, they would be 11 points clear if they were able to get this one over for the conversion. Do they take it on, though? Dan Robson trying to decide. Jacob Umunga, he is kicking for the corner. They've gone, we've got 8 points as our lead. We want to keep on pushing here. They were 22 metres out. Could have been an easy 3. A fair play to them. They decided, you know what? We are going to play aggressively here because we have got them on the back foot. But it will be Cruz with the all-important line-out throw here. Tom Cruz to be able to get it. Tom Cruz. That's actually the actor's name, isn't it? If I'm not wrong, Tom Cruise. Yes, it is. I was trying to think, geez, that name kind of rings a little bit of a bell there. But I've worked out exactly why Tom Cruise, of course, an actor. But Tom Cruise, now he will have to be acting like he is going to be able to get this one straight to the middle. And that is exactly what he's done there. Very nicely done for the Wasps. The ball got a little bit trapped there, a little bit high, but it has been able to pop out the back for Cruz once again. And it's going to be the rolling maul of the Wasps. Look at it move. It is working very nicely. They've been told to use it once. Cruz once again driving forward. It's still the same maul. And they are going to be only 5 metres out, but the Bristol Bears all over that man now. Become a rolling maul, but they need to get it to ground, I believe. At this stage, still trying to drive it for their boy, and it's going to be the scrum feed for the Bristol Bears. Well defended there. And Cruz, unfortunately, not quite able to get that one right. Whether he is contacts or not, he has got his finger in his eye at the moment. I remember, this is kind of a weird off-topic situation. I was talking about eye, so I guess it's kind of relevant. There was a kid at our school who kind of, he'd go like that or something, and then he could turn his eyelid inside out so that his eyes were pretty much like that top part. And I remember thinking, geez, that looks a little bit rough. But some people can do that. Also, some people can touch their eyeball. Like for me, I don't think I've touched my eyeball in about 7 years, like actually touched it. Like I feel like I just couldn't kind of convince myself to be able to do so. But while we are waiting for the scrum as well, I'm going to say the next try of the match is going to be scored by the Bristol Bears, and it will be I'll go with them again. I will say that it is going to be Piers O'Connor in the number 13 jersey. Gain line or over gain line at the moment is going the way of the Bristol Bears. This one's going to be a lot of pressure on Dan Robson, who has been able to turn this ball over for the Wasps. Still available. Yes, it is. It's gone down now. 5 metres out, driving hard. I shouldn't have said who I said. I should have said Brad Shields because he has just been able to score the try, the captain of the Wasps. I was going to say that name as well. That is a little bit of a shame in that regard because I could have called it, but I didn't. So Brad Shields able to score that try, or did he? They're showing Dan Robson at the moment, but I'm pretty sure. And then it was just a cheeky move from Dan Robson, kicked the ball almost out of Uren's hand, but he just felt that little bit of a presence, and that was enough of a presence to be able to get them the turnover. And then from there was a big man, Brad Shields, I believe, just drove around the side, the captain. He's been off the field for 10 minutes earlier on. Maybe that was just that little bit of a breather to be able to drive himself over and score the third try of the match for the Wasps now. They've got a very good lead at the moment. They're sticking out the tongue as well. Very happy about it there, Brad Shields, for his side to be able to get himself another try. Bristol are struggling. I'm not really this used to seeing Bristol in terms of the factor of not being able to score many points. I know the previous season and also the season before that, they were just try scoring machines, and I feel like I've jinxed them big time by starting to do watch-alongs for their games. So I apologize to anyone who is a Bristol Bears supporter if I have, unfortunately, jinxed your side to have them in the situation of now losing 23 points to 8. But Jimmy Gothith now 27 from 33 for his Gallagher Premiership kicking record. He will be open to do the same here. He struck it well, and it's going over there. 23 points to the Wasps and 8 to the Bristol Bears. Tell you what, they're going all right here. The Wasps 23 points to 8 is a huge margin indeed. They are currently 15 points ahead, so it's 2 converted tries and something that the Bristol Bears will have to get back in this one, and they are only 1 try away from getting the bonus point as well in that regard. But Dan Robson now passes it back. It's going to be, once again, Tom Willis. Is he English? Because if he is English, I feel like he's going to be in the England squad in the next little while because he looks dangerous. And that number 8 jersey, big hit there on the ribs of one of the Wasp players. Oh, he wasn't quite able to catch it now, and it's going to be available for the Bristol Bears. But we are going back now for the scrum, I believe. But they are just seeing whether or not it was a late shot, maybe on Michael Lebergius. I'm not sure how to say that name, so we just roll the R and hope for the best. But they are just showing Dan Robson really just putting the pressure on Uren, which did lead to the turnover there. He was just kicking his foot as if to say, like, mate, if you end up messing up this pass, I'm going to kick it. And then in the end, went straight through the hands of Uren. That is a good kick downfield from the Wasps there. And now it will be the line-out throw on the 50-metre line, also known as halfway in this great game of rugby that we know and love. Jacob Umaga, what can he do in the second half at the moment? The Wasps, they are chasing the bonus point. If they get themselves one more, they will be sitting pretty good on the table, as they did lose their first game, unfortunately for them. That is a lie. They had a bye in their first game. No wonder I didn't know what their score was in the last week's match. They didn't actually play. That makes more sense in my brain now. But Jimmy Gothith able to take that one nicely for the Wasp. 45 metres out now. And driving forward once again. Robson passes it back now. Jacob Umaga, forward pass right in front of the referee. Decided that it was not forward, so they are going to be continuing. Someone's lost a boot. Dan Robson now passes it across. Via Fafita. I keep on calling him Walter for some reason, but someone is down in the background for the Wasps as well. Now it's going to be the backline movement, cutout pass. Cross now to, it will be Bassett on the near touchline. Watson trying to get himself up the field a little bit more on the halfway line once again for the Wasps. It's a big hit on Brad Shields, getting driven backwards there. Dan Robson passes it back. Now they're playing with 14 men at the moment due to their injury a little bit earlier on in play, but now Dan Robson fires it back. Jacob Umaga kicking it in behind once again, looking maybe for that 50-22 that he was able to get earlier on, but it is going to be a big kick downfield. Going to be inside, no, just outside of the in-goal area, and now Lloyd will be kicking it into touch, and I believe we will have a stoppage here because of the player being down at the moment. I believe that is Michael Bourgeois is the pronunciation, I believe. I would assume he is French if I was a betting man. And at this stage, my eyes have started trying to water. I almost yawned before, and as soon as you yawn once, you go downhill, but we are wide awake. We are ready to go. I'm going to convince myself that it is currently, tell you what, it's 4:13 a.m. here in New Zealand, but we're going to say it's 4:13 p.m. You know, it's just in the afternoon. So we are completely fine there. 48 minutes into this game between the Wasps and the Bristol Bears. We've already had 4 tries in this game as well, looking like a high-scoring one. Looking through the other fixtures that we have got at the moment, not really any score changes from earlier on, other than Worcester have been able to score themselves a try to get them back to 21-10 down. But they will be able to keep on getting a little bit closer to the Harlequins, who were able to get the win last week, and that was over Newcastle in the end. And that was a good game as well. A lot of tries throughout that one. Radwan, very good player out on the wing. And also Liner was another player who played very well for the Harlequins, and now he is in the English side. So it is pretty awesome to see how far he's come in that regard. But now it's going to be the line-out throw for the Wasps, 40 metres out. It looks like Le Bourgeois will be continuing for the Wasps here. So they've got quite a few kind of international players in their backline. I am starting to realise as well. Malachi Fekitoa no longer there, though, but Jimmy Gothith will be there instead. So we're kind of replacing Kiwis with Kiwis at the moment, but Fafita still out there as well. Tom Willis taking that one at the straight. Taking that one at the straight, taking that one at the front of the rolling mill, I should say, now going off the back now. Looks like it's going to be very nicely set there for Ogra. Driving himself forward here. Dan Robson passing it back. Gothith, first receiver, gives it to Jacob Umaga, going for the little kick behind, and there's a lot of space here for the Wasps. That doesn't set up. Oh, it's taken beautifully. Oh, the foot was on touch, though, for Crosswell. And yes, you have to play club rugby as well. There's Al Blondie there in the chat. And I've realised your name is Al Blondie 69 Falconer as well. I keep on saying Al Blondie. Do let me know if that is what you want to kind of go by. And who do you think is the MVP in the AB squad this year? That's a good question. I want to say the obvious choice is someone like a Will Jordan or someone along those lines, because of the fact he constantly scores try. But Rico Ioane, the big problem, unfortunately for me, is a few of these guys who I want to say didn't have the best game just before. So unfortunately, it does kind of have it in recent history. Like Akira Ioane, he is a phenomenal player. He just drops the ball just a few too many times, unfortunately, for him to really be able to get right up there. That's going to be offside, I believe. Edge of the football box is the call here. What are we looking for here? Was Hughes going forward? No arms, and it was actually the number 1 in the end for them, which was Hislop. So they've gone right back for that penalty there. But also, I mean, David Havili at 12 has been very solid for the All Blacks. Who else could I say? in that fullback, tell you what, someone who's impressed me is Ethan Blackadder. And I feel like he doesn't really get a lot of credit because he's not one of the most well-known names in New Zealand rugby. But Ethan Blackadder, for me, has been doing extremely well. Like, in this game, he wasn't going to be in the starting lineup, got pushed in there in the number 7 jersey and just played like one of those players who looked like he was going to be starting the whole time. And he didn't look out of place starting in that game either for them. Going to be taken nicely by Voi on the halfway line. Wallabies MVP. I'm going to say Samu Karevi, but then also Quade Cooper's got to be up there as well, I would think, for them in that regard. But sorry, on at the wrong time for me as well, says Al Blondie. But now it's going to be breaking through. Tell you what, he's got a bit of toe here, the man in number 14 jersey for Bristol, which in this one it would be Odiolokun. Hopefully I've pronounced that correctly, but now passing the ball back once again. It's going to be Callum Sheedy. Wide cutout pass available for Bristol. Great hands there from the number 1, because he could have easily put that one down, Jan Thomas, but now it's a knock on. He did put it down on the ground, unfortunately, for Bristol, and now it is going to be the Wasps who have got themselves that scrum, and it looks like another injury out there at the moment. It was a brilliant line break from Adiolokin. Adiolokin is the pronunciation there, and he just steps. He has pace, but great defense there. I believe it was Jacob Umaga was able to make the tackle there. And it was definitely an important one to make. Then it was passed out wide and unfortunately just put down in the breakdown. Another yawn. That is unfortunate. We have got there. Who do you think is the most developed Wallabies player this season as well, says Ed Vogel. Oh, okay. Most developed. So we're thinking about the young players. I'm trying to think through all of the players. I want to say Rob Valentini off the top of my head, but I know that that's kind of not the best answer because of the fact he is already a pretty developed name. I would say Andrew Callaway, actually, as a player who has thoroughly impressed a lot of people. I actually mentioned it when he was first selected for the Wallabies, even before it. I said that this guy has got quite a bit of talent and could be a future one for the Wallabies. And when he was selected, people kind of doubted that selection. But since then, he's scored about 3 or 4 tries, I believe, at the moment, sitting on 4, I believe. He's actually the top try scorer of the competition at the moment, Andrew Callaway, and he's just been doing phenomenally for them as well. And it is awesome to see that the guy from the Rebels is doing so well there. Hugh's going to be tackled there by the Bristol Bears, currently sitting about 35 metres out from their line, looking for the offload, not quite able to find it there. Hilton once again going back. Hughes linking up now with Sheedy. Oh, it's been dropped once again, and that time it was the other prop putting the ball down, and now it's going to be Cruz cruising his way forward. Fafita now looking for the offload, did find it. It's a loose ball there. It's going to be a huge amount of pressure. Wrestled to the ground here, almost on the halfway line now, but I believe they do still have the advantage. Dan Robson now going for the kick and behind, going for territory, and he has put it into touch just inside of the 22 of the Bristol Bears. But do let me know, Ed, in terms of who you would say is the most developed in your opinion. I'm just trying to think of who else there is for myself who, I mean, Tani Alatupo, he's always solid, so it's hard to say that he isn't developed in that regard. I'm trying to think of them as well. Okay, Cooper maybe as well. He's certainly come back from kind of having a very long layoff. I mean, he had about 6 or so years that he didn't play for the Wallabies, and he came back and he absolutely just looked ice cold, just concentration mode, and he was able to help the side get the win over for the Springboks for that first game as well. And then from there, he's just kept on kind of performing in a consistent manner. Oh, it was stolen in the line out by the Wasps, but then from there it was taken straight back by a Bristol, so they have still got this one available, and it looks like Ewan once again will be putting this ball high and long. It's going towards the halfway line, taken nicely there by Watson, trying to find a bit of space, stepping sideways with the fend as well, and he is going, although there is a complaint from one of the Bristol Bears player, but I think it is because of the fact he just got outpaced. Now it's going to be Le Bor, that name again, I can't quite say it, Borgru, something along those lines. He is French and he is a player to watch out for, but it's going to be a penalty to Bristol now as well. At this stage, 54 minutes into this game, and looking through some of the other matches, it's quite interesting. All of the matches have slowed down in terms of the scoring rate of the Gallagher Premiership. As you can see, the scores still sitting 20 to Newcastle, 3 to Bath. Exeter and Northampton both sitting on the same as well. Harlequins sitting on that same score as their kind of game a little bit earlier on in the match, I should say, up against Worcester. And then it was the Wasps taking on Bristol, and we are sitting at 23-8. So not too many tries in the second half so far. So maybe both sides really trying to cut down on those little line breaks and everything that everyone's been able to do. But now will be the man in the number 16 jersey will be getting an opportunity to throw this one in, which is a Will Capon for this one as well. I've realised he's got Thatcher on his back, but it's actually Will Capon was coming off the bench, and instead Thatcher was actually starting this match, which is interesting that they have swapped their jerseys in that regard. But now it is going to be once again starting the rolling maul here for the Bristol Bears, trying to get something going here for them. It's currently one of the players, I believe it is their number 5, breaking through the middle, almost able to get it for the Wasps. But now Bristol Bear, quick hands there. Sheedy was able to link up nicely with Lloyd, tackled a little bit high. And that one, Uren now trying to find the gap, and he's done it beautifully. Uren, he's got pace. Who can he link up with? Offload it back, and it's going to be Capon. Get him very close to the line, only a metre short. Very well done from him not to reach out, though. It's an advantage for the Bristol Bears. Now Uren with the wide cutout pass. It's drawing past, and it's the man who's been everywhere. The man on the number 7 jersey, Daniel Thomas, who has been able to score the try for the Bristol Bears. But tell you what, that was a brilliant run from Uren there. Did exactly what he needed to, found that gap, went for it, and Dan Thomas was the man who was able to get the try in the end for them. But they are just checking this one, so maybe it's not going to be, but Uren, beautiful gap that he was able to hit there, and then from there, linking up nicely with Capon, getting extremely close to the line, but decided not to reach out, which was very strategic in that regard, because if he did, it would have been double movement, and then from there, Uren was able to pass it out the back line, Voi with the quick hands, and then it went through, and it was a try for it was a Daniel Thomas. We've got Bristol finally as well, says Al Blondie. Is it the start of the comeback, perhaps? In that regard, it could be. We'll have to wait and see there, but at this stage, it seems like Bristol, they have come to play, and it is actually, that's kind of weird. Harlequins have decided to score at the exact same time. As well, as you can see now, it is going to be 28-10. They're just checking to see whether or not it's an illegal clean out, or Dan Robson's foot was actually held there. They're actually reviewing this one. This could be a no try, depending on what they decide here. But we have also got Katie in the chat. Hey, howdy, hey, y'all as well. Welcome in, Katie. It's great to see you here once again for this one. And at this stage, we did start about 5 minutes late because the match had kicked off at, it was 2 a.m. rather than 2:05. But really, it's 3 a.m. because of daylight saving. Right. Dan Robson here. Was he held for long enough to not be able to get involved in that one? He is the scrum half. They will go upstairs here. They can't see anything from this angle. This could be a no try for Bristol, and that would be heartbreaking for them after working as hard as they can. Okay. It's going to be a no try, I believe, for Bristol Bears here. And the reason behind that is Dan Robson. He was right next to the breakdown. One of the players who did go for the clean out. I believe it was their number 5, maybe. I think it was Daniel. No, sorry, it wasn't Daniel Thomas. It was Dave Atwood. He just held on to that ankle, wouldn't let go, and Dan Robson wasn't able to go around the side of the breakdown. I'm not sure whether or not he would have been able to stop him, but it is a very tough one as well. And we have also got there in the chat from Ed Vogel. I think Callaway is the most developed player for Wallabies too. He made his debut at 25 years of age. He has played for the Waratahs, Northampton, and the Rebels. He's definitely earned a spot in being selected. Yeah, I think so as well, mate. And he is. It's one of those ones. He was never kind of a name on people's minds going into the season. It was always going to be Marika Koromberi out on one wing, and Vunivalu was actually the name for who was going to be out on that other wing. Originally was what everyone was telling me. It's a no try there, unfortunately, for the Bristol Bears because of the fact that the player was being out. So that is a shame because Uren just had a beautiful run there, but it is cancelled out. But yeah, it was always Vunivalu. Tom Wright as well was another name. But when he had a couple bad games in a row and Vunivalu getting injured up against France, it opened the door for Callaway. And he is, in my opinion, he has locked that number 5, or sorry, not the number 5. He has locked that number 14 jersey down for a pretty long time because of the fact that at the end of the day, he's in form. He's scoring tries. He's making meters. Great on defense as well. You can't really take him out of there, even though Tom Wright, he will be waiting for his turn, but I don't think he's going to get it anytime soon. Maybe Andy Muirhead, also another name that we'll be hoping to get one soon. 9 is in the ruck as well, says Al Blondie. Yeah, unfortunately, they have said that he was held by the foot, and it does mean that that was a beautiful run from Uren as well. So it is a big shame that that does go back for a no try because Bristol Bears, they were almost going to be right back into this match as well. But now Pat Lam, he's not looking too happy at the moment with his side. Going to be kicked downfield for the Wasps. It would hurt even more for the Bristol Bears if they end up getting into that situation of a try against them here as well for the Wasps, as they will be 20 metres out. A lot of subs being made. Tuamunga Allen coming off the field. Also, Dan Frost, Ben Harris. No, sorry, actually, they're going to leave the man out there at the moment, Tom Cruise. So they are instead going to have Dan Frost a little bit later on, but I believe Harris and also Alo have both made their way out there, taken nicely by Walter Fafita in the line-out drive now for the Wasps, trying to get a marching forward, not really going too far at the moment for them, but they will be hoping to really get a march in now. 15 out. Dan Robson looks like he's got his hands on the ball instead now. It is still going to be Tom Cruise who has got it available. Robson passes it back now, right back into the hands of, it was a Jacob Umunga cross kick going up here. It's in the air, taken beautifully there by Callum Sheedy. Did he take the mark in time? He did indeed. And now he will be running for because he did have the tap and they had to get back 10. So now going out the back line, Bristol Bears are only a couple metres out from their own line here, just next to the 22. They will have to make sure that they do get this one right. Urin passes it back now. Callum Sheedy once again getting that one out the back line, and it's another player down for a little bit. For one of the sides, Pietau looking for the offload, not able to find it. Whoever's got there. I love my mum's take on daylight saving time. She says DST, and in terms of daylight saving, is like cutting off the bottom of a blanket, sewing it to the top of the blanket, and then telling yourself you have a longer blanket as well. Says Katie Dixon. I feel like that's like the perfect analogy. That's a good run on the inside for the Bristol Bears. And now once again, Thomas, he's trying to get that try that he wasn't quite able to get before. I do quite like that analogy in that regard, but pretty much I thought I had an extra hour to prepare for this live stream and the next one that we are doing on the channel. But then I learned, unfortunately, that I did not. We were going straight into the next matchup, and now it's going to be a nice step there. Offloaded, it's gone through the hands, and now the Wasps spread Shields. No, it is going to be going back, is it? They're kind of in slow motion. Are they still playing? Yeah, they are. I thought for a second that the whistle must have gone because everyone was kind of just sitting still for a little while. Tom Willis trying to protect that ball. It hasn't quite worked out, and now it's going to be on the side of the Bristol Bears once again using their back line. It's going to be across to Charles Pietau. What can he do? The step-in fellow now. It's going to be, a good tackle there from Hughes on. From Hughes. No, on Hughes. From it was Watson in the end. Tell you what, the names weren't rolling off the tongue there, that is for sure. At the moment, the tries, they are not really rolling for either of these other sides that are playing in these matches. For the Gallagher Premiership, the ball is popped out of the back for the Bristol Bears once again, and it's a penalty to them there as well. And what I am going to do while we are waiting for this penalty to take place, because it is going to be a line-out drive, what I am going to be doing is I am going to quickly plug in my phone and get my lineups up, ready to go for the United Rugby Championship that is coming up in a very short moment. The game is going to be kicking off at around, I believe it is 5:15. The Wasp player almost able to keep that one in the field of play, but unfortunately, just didn't quite get it right. Piers O'Connor now down as well for the Bristol Bears, and then it was Zach Kilbridge, maybe, if I'm not wrong there, who was down. I think I've said his name wrong. I think it is Kipperidge, I think is the name there. But now Nathan Hughes going to be coming off the field here for the Bristol Bears as well. Now Dan Frost making his way out there as well. Morris also going to be the replacement, making his way out there for the Wasps. Also, we have got in the chat, game was long. Game has gone very loose on both sides. Yeah, it's kind of been a lot of stop-start, which both of these sides, they have the ability to play that fast-paced kind of running rugby, but we haven't got to see it too much throughout this one. The early stages, we did get to see it. Malachi Fekitoa's arm is in a sling, so I really hope that that is just precautionary and that he isn't seriously injured, because that would be a big shame, because I enjoy watching our Kiwis over there in the Gallagher Premiership. He looks like a bit of a unit there, I believe. That is, if I'm not wrong, Ben Morris. He will be hoping to make a little bit of a late impact for the Wasps, because they will be chasing the bonus point. They need one more try to be able to get themselves that bonus point. So it would be the perfect opportunity if they were able to do so. What we are doing now is we will click, 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 click. There we go. I've imported a whole heap of pictures on my PC. That is very nice indeed. And while we are waiting, we are seeing the Wasps in the stand in their nice polo shirts. I actually do want to get a Wasps kit at some stage. I feel like that would be pretty cool to be able to add there. Has Mokel Hooper come on yet as well? Not quite. I think he's not too far away, though, because they're making subs while they're going out of fashion because of the injuries for the Kiwis in this game so far. We've seen Tuamunga Allen, Malachi Fekitoa got his arm in a sling as well, which is a bit of a shame, because I was hoping to see a little bit more of him throughout this match and also through the season. So hopefully it is a short one. Me and Callaway went to the same school. He was at my senior in my school days. I watched and supported Callaway, Angus Crichton, and Jack Maddox as well. Nice blokes and players as well. And the chat says Ed Vogel. And I guess it is pretty awesome, the fact that you guys, like a lot of you guys went to school or something along those lines with these rugby players now, whereas here in a small town, we don't really have anyone who has gone on to play international rugby that I know of. We've got Cullen Grace up the road, and I did play on the South Canterbury development cricket team with him. But other than that, that's a terrible bit of handling there from the Bristol Bears on the halfway line, and now it will be another scrum feed in this one. This game might run overtime at this stage. We have got 20 minutes until the game is over, and then we've got 25 minutes until we are going to be in that next situation of the next one we have got there. That's cool as well, says our Blondie. And also we have got there, thank you for your hard work with all these rugby streams, rugby games and streams, Hamish. Absolutely love what you guys created for us all as well, says Katie Dixon. And hopefully we can do a lot more of it in the future. You guys seem to really enjoy the build-up that we did have for that match between the All Blacks and the Springboks. And it was one of those ones, those lineups, they took a little while to create, but it was one of those situations. It's 100% worth it. Like me and Isaac, we have spent hours and hours on a Discord call trying to make sure that we can get them kind of as perfect as possible in that regard. But yeah, it is awesome that you guys have been enjoying them in that regard as well. And I'm looking through the previous results. Benetton actually able to get themselves their win. And it was 22 points to 18, like someone mentioned a little bit earlier on. Close game in that regard. But at this stage, Cardiff are actually sitting top of the United Rugby Championship. So you'll have to wait and see whether or not that will continue to be the case as well. There we go. We are listening to someone from Ireland who is talking on the commentary as well, and it is going to be Heenan, also Armstrong and Woolmore making their way out there as well. We have got there. You went to school with Nelson Mandela, really, as well. He is joking. He is from Australia, BKR Sport. So I believe that is, that wasn't happening for him, unfortunately. And also we have got there myself, Nelson, and Michael Hooper always caused a ruckus at lunch break as well. And the interview with Norm Maxwell was a 10 out of 10 and 100 as well. And now it's going to be down the wing here. Chip in behind from Watson, and it's going to be marked there by Callum Sheedy, who had a lot of pressure on him once again. Thinking about, yes, he does take the quick dip. He falls to his feet there. Jacob Umang is going, why did you do that, mate? But now he's going to be running away down the wing, the Bristol Bears. Kicking it back down the middle of the field now, the Wasps. Dan Robson, the loose bouncing ball here for the Wasps there, and he is going to be kicking this one into touch, but he hasn't found touch there, so now it's going to be Charles Piatel. You don't want to give that man that space. Trying to break the tackle, but great low tackle from Robson there. I should say, just waiting for the NFL tomorrow as well. Just waiting, forever waiting as well. Set that big ass ball there, but now it is going to be on the halfway line for the Bristol Bears. If they get themselves a try in the next kind of 5 or 10 minutes, I think they are not out of this match yet, because they've had a couple good moments. They had that cancelled out try a little bit earlier on. But the Wasps, they will be going for that bonus point. One more try needed to be able to get them their first win of the season and their first bonus point win as well. And now 14 metres out for the Bristol Bears. Once again, Sheedy with the short ball. Nicely taken by the big lock forward. Firing it wide now. Once again, it is going to be a nice little offload to it will be O'Connor down the wing. Piers O'Connor, a lot of pressure on him, almost stolen by the Wasps in the breakdown, and then going for the counter ruck as well, and the Wasps had done it, and that was absolutely brilliantly done, and because of it, they are going to be rewarded, and it's a try to Dan Frost there for the Wasps. What a try that was as well, because of the fact that they just kept going in that breakdown. It was one man and one man only who just did a brilliant counter ruck, and in the end, it was enough to be able to drive them right over the front, and then the Wasps able to score again. Ladies and gentlemen, the scoreboard is not round the wrong way. The Wasps are winning this game currently 28 points to 8, and they have got a bonus point over the Bristol Bears. I'm sorry about the Lions, mate, as well. But the Ravens game made up for it as well. And try, says Katie Dixon. And tell you what, straight in there, it was just that counter ruck from, in the end, the number 11, Josh Bassett, just muscling up with the defence in that ruck, and he was able to get himself the try there. I've never seen the Lions win a playoff game in my life as well. And on 27 says BKR Sport. A beautiful dive there from Dan Frost, and a beautiful run around the side as well to see the space, see the opportunity. Got a bit of toe, that big man. He's got thighs on him like Danny Alatupo by the looks of it. He was able to score that try there, and he is a very happy man at the moment, Dan Frost, that is for sure. But another try, 4 tries so far in this match for the Wasps, compared to just the one of the Bristol Bears. So if this match continues the way that it is, it will be that the Wasps have been able to score that for the bonus point. But the Bristol Bears, they have only scored one try, in their last 2 games, if it was full-time at this rate. But we will have to wait and see. I feel like they've still got one more in them. Where did you go to school as well? Says Al Blondie, and also we have got now Jimmy Goffith lining up this one straight down the middle. And now the score is going to be 30 points to the Wasps and 8 against Bristol Bears. Tell you what, this is really sending an impact here, and really making a statement up against a Bristol Bears side who were in the final was the semi-final, I should say. They actually got knocked out by the Harlequins. But now at this stage, they are doing very nice indeed. I believe it is Piers O'Connor now going off the field, and Atwood also going to be going off there. And Holmes making his way out there for this one, kicking straight into the sun. Dan Robson taking that one, and it is going almost into touch. No, he's been able to just keep that one in favour, and now going back across the Bristol Bears, running it sideways. It's going to be a penalty, though, for offside, and it will be the penalty of the Bristol Bears running it, taking the quick dab now, and they've got the man on the outside. Didn't see him. No, they weren't on the mark. I was going to say that was interesting not to go to him as well. We have got a new member on the channel as well. It is BR Sport as well, and welcome to the fam as well, says Katie Dixon. And at this stage now, Callum Sheedy, he will be kicking this ball towards the touchline, and they will be going for the 5-metre line out as well, but we will keep that up for a little while. But anyone who is wondering what the score is, it is 30 points to the Wasps and 8 to the Bristol Bears. Just the one try for Bristol so far, but now they have got a line out about 10 metres out. A brilliant opportunity to be able to get themselves on the board now and see whether or not they can manage one more try in this game. Will Capon with a very important line-out throw. It looks like a nice enough day there, which does mean that maybe we are going to have a couple nice days for the games that are taking place just a little bit later on for the United Rugby Championship. Capon breaking off the back now, driving. Is he held up, though? He might have been held up there by the Wasps defence, and if that is the case, it will be going for the goal line dropout as well. We'll have to wait and see, though, but at this stage, did the Bristol Bears just get themselves their second try? They need to try and get themselves back to being only 7 points behind, because if they can do that, they will receive 1 bonus point, and that will be more points than they have had for their first game as well, as they did lose to Saracens, and it was just outside of that points margin. But at this stage, what are they going to be deciding? There's a little bit of push and shove going on. I believe it was Brad Shields in the background, just talking a little bit with some of the Bristol Bears players, as you probably would when you're in this situation, because the Wasps, they have come out firing in this game, and they have just kept on going throughout this one as well. Too many handling errors for the Bristol Bears in this one. Bristol are out of the game as well, says Al Blondie. Yeah, unfortunately, at this stage, does seem like it could be the case, unless this is a try. Because if this is a try, then they are only going to be those 2 converted tries behind. And that's one thing Bristol, we have seen in the past, they can score many tries in a hurry if they get the chance. So they'll be trying their best to be able to do so, but they're going upstairs for the TMO now to see whether or not this one is going to be a try. Hopefully, we do get a good angle here. Will Capon ended up going down. I believe it was actually the number 20 there, the Wasps player. He landed very hard on his back there, but I think he's been able to stop him there. Ben Morris, I said he was a bit of a big unit, and I think he has been able to use every single bit of that unitness to be able to stop that one from taking place, or getting down to the ground, I should say. Oh, hang on. Brad Shields. They are saying that Brad Shields may have dragged this one down. He could get a red card here because he has already received a yellow. So that would be another Kiwi player who will be going off the field if that is the case. Surely he hasn't ended up dragging down another rolling ball there, Brad Shields. You'd think he would have learned from the first one, but it seems like maybe they are going to be... Okay, so Brad Shields is going to have a red card. So now this could be the little bit of an opportunity that they needed to be able to get back into this game. The Bristol Bears, it is going to be in that situation of a red card for Brad Shields. It was going to be a yellow, but because he has already received one, it is a second yellow, and he will be off the field, and they will not be able to replace him for the later stages of this game here. So they would not be too happy, although he is the captain. So I guess it's one of those ones that the coaches won't be happy, the players also won't be happy, definitely, if they end up in this situation. He is not happy at all, Brad Shields. He is asking the question of why is that a red card, but that is the deal. Unfortunately for him, it's the first red card for Brad Shields in his whole career. He had a yellow a little bit earlier on in this game as well, but it's the second yellow. So that is why he is going to be off the field there. We have got there in the chat. Not very familiar with either of these teams at the moment, says Katie Dixon. The only players that I really know of these teams are the New Zealand players, and 2 of them have gone off the field with injury. Brad Shields is now red carded, so we're running low on Kiwis. And this one, they've still got Jimmy Goffith, and also I believe we've got one other, which would be Via Fafita is also our other option, with Stephen Luatua being in there a little bit as well. I used to support Bristol, to be honest, as well, says Al Blondie, although it's one of those ones that they will be able to fight back Bristol Bears. They normally do, and they have got Pat Lam for a very long time at the moment, so now they will be able to try and really work out what is going to be working for them. We have also got the Eustace Bristol and also House Fafita performance so far. He's been doing good in the line out. Other than that, though, I don't think I've seen him make too many tackles. His pants have been pulled down about 3 times, which is unfortunate for that man. It's going to be the scrum feed for the Wasps as that rolling ball went down. And once again, they have been able to do very well. The Wasps, they're doing extremely well throughout this match, just being able to shut down that rolling maul of the Bristol Bears, which is normally a very strong one indeed. And now the scrum feed at the stage, 12 minutes to go until we get to full time in this match after 1 red card. So if we have any more tries, we may end up in that situation of maybe we get to see a couple more tries. That could be on the cards. Luatua is a man that I'm picking to be able to score the try. A captain's performance. Brad Shields able to score one for the Wasps. He is no longer available because of the fact that he is going to be off the field for the last stages of this game. But can they do it? That's a big question. Points per visit at the moment for the Wasps, 3 compared to the 1.3 of a Bristol. That's going to be a Bristol Bears penalty. Only a couple meters short. Dan Robson not giving the ball up, and now they're pushing everyone around. He's still holding on to the ball here. The Wasps plan, that is why they are not very happy at all. And there's a bit of a push and a shove. There's a passion out there as well. Brad Shields sent off. Interesting as well. Says Al Blondia was indeed ended up dragging down the maul for a second time. So unfortunately for him, in that regard, it does mean that he is going to be going off the field. And I don't believe it will be a suspension because it's 2 yellow cards for something that isn't really that kind of crazy. It wasn't a high tackle or anything like that. It was just a factor of Bragg kind of dragging down the maul a couple times. So I don't think it will be a suspension, but yeah, unfortunately for him, not going to be finishing off this game. And once again, it is going to be the Bristol Bears only a few meters out now from the line. Luatua takes it nicely, so he will not be able to score this try because he will be passing the ball back to Will Capon, trying to march his way forward now. And it is not really going anywhere. Will Capon's gone down again. It's available at the back for the Bristol Bears. They have currently got 10 minutes to work here to be able to try and get themselves that bonus point. We will have to wait and see whether or not that will be the case. It's going back to Vuai once again. Getting the carry. It's available on the Wasps side, though. And I believe that is going to be a turnover in the breakdown. And they've done it again. The Wasps and the home crowd are showing their appreciation for the hard work that they have been doing just out from their own line. That it's twice in the last couple minutes that it is going to be the ball going just outside of that 5-meter line, into the 5-meter line, and then they were able to get that turnover again. Robson maybe as well. Says Al Blondie, who's the captain then as well, says Ed Vogel. That is a very good point. And I guess Dan Robson is probably a decent shout. I'm trying to look through the rest of their lineup at who they'd say is experienced enough. It's not really, yeah, I guess probably you would give it to Dan Robson out of anyone out there at the moment, but they just haven't been able to get themselves over the line yet. They has Thatcher's on the back, but of course it is actually Will Capon in the number 15, or sorry, the number 16 jersey. And yeah, in the chat, it was the Robson as the call, but that's the thing. The Wasps at this stage, if they can keep on building nicely here, that's going to be a great step for them once again. Going back into the hands now. Oh, it's a juggle from Stephen Luatua. Can he get himself a try? I feel like I'm calling it at the moment. 74 minutes on my phone as well. Says Katie Dixon. I'm currently sitting at only 70, which is interesting indeed. Because of the fact that I am currently, I guess, 4 minutes behind. That is quite a lot in that regard. Normally, Sky is about a minute or so. I'm on 3% as well, says Al Blondie. Now it's going to be a good run once again here for the Bristol Bears. 40 meters out at the moment. They are fighting for that bonus point. Can they get themselves? So that's a big question. They're going to need to score a couple more times in the last stages of this match. That's going to be a penalty. No, it's not. Ended up not giving it away in the end. Now it's going back out the back line once again. Sheedy offloading at Luatua once again with another carry there. Will Porter going to be trying to defend hard, trying to rip the ball away as well. It's gone into touch there, just thrown out. And it does mean now that it will be the line out once again, and Falconer as well in the chat with the lull from Katie Dixon there. And I guess that's one of those ones that my phone, luckily I've got it plugged in, but earlier on my iPad, normally I have the lineups up on my iPad just to help me out a little bit more, but my iPad completely died during the Argentina versus Pumas game, I believe it was. So I ended up kind of sitting in the dark in some regards for a little while there, but we were able to work it out in the end. And yeah, luckily we were able to get through without saying too many of the names wrong in that regard as well. Just looking quickly once again at all of the other results that we have had here for the last little while with the Gallagher Premiership. All of these games going down to the wire. in terms of the amount of tries that teams are trying to score. They're trying to chase bonus points, and you appreciate that as a rugby supporter. Watson going off the field, he is getting his appreciation from the people in the crowd. And also, I believe it is Brad Shields who's not too happy with himself getting the red card in this game. But just looking at it now, Gallagher Premiership at the moment, Bath are sitting 10 points to 20 into their game up against Newcastle. Also 24-23 in the game between Exeter and Northampton. 28-24 for Worcester coming back in that game up against the Harlequins. So this game is the biggest split in terms of the amount of tries, or the amount of points differential, I should say, with 22 rather than the 10 of Newcastle and Bath as well. But now Robson going to be putting this ball in once again for the scrum feed. I wonder whether or not I am as far forward as I could be. I think I am now, 72 minutes. So we are still a couple minutes behind, though, I believe, from live TV. But that is all right. And indeed, there's going to be the scrum feed once again here. Dan Robson waiting for that ball at the back. It's going to be spinning. It's going to be off the back for Tom Willis. It's a penalty to the Bristol Bears. Oh, Tom Willis there. I think he's just done a hamstring. Oh, but he's got straight back up, Tom Willis. He is a tough individual. Not sure whether or not it was just a tweak or something, but he looks like he's in a lot of discomfort at the moment, Tom Willis there for him. Well, Marcus Watson looks dead, like his brother as well, says Al Blondie. And also, yeah, now I just popped the game open in my iPad, and it's at 71 minutes as well, says it Katie Dixon, because of course these games are actually, some of them get shown in the US, if I'm not wrong. Are they showing the United Rugby Championship? Katie, do let me know as well. Yeah, unfortunately, just having the awkward fall there, Tom Willis, but he's been putting in a shift throughout this game as well for his side, trying to get them that big one, which they have been going for. That's going to be taken very nicely by the Bristol Bears. And once again, the rolling maul is going to be setting up and starting to roll. You could say it's gone down, though, advantage in the favour of the Bristol Bears. Looks like it will be now Harry Randall. Who is he going to be giving it to? He's decided and go back across now. It will be Jake Heenan in one of his first carries of this match for the Bristol Bears. Currently 73.5 minutes in. It's going to be a no-look pass out the back. Cheating now. Linking up. No, it's not quite. Finding the man on the outside. Now he's well and truly isolated. Lloyd able to find a beautiful offload on the inside, though, to be able to keep it in the possession of... No, it's not going to be. Was stolen there, but now it will be. Once again, the penalty for the Bristol Bears. We have all got there. I hope they show United Rugby Championship. I don't want to miss Leinster as well, says Katie Dixon. And that game is going to be kicking off in only 25 minutes time as well, which is very exciting. Wasps mean business. Bristol yet again so poor with all these players they have. I almost think last season for them was a freak act of nature as well, says Kanakoinen. And of course, you will be getting a lot closer to in terms of looking forward to that game between Munster and the Sharks. That was a weird way of wording it, but you will be very excited for it, I assume, because we are only moments away. Exeter Chiefs actually losing at the moment to Northampton. That would be a huge loss for them in that regard, because then it would be the two top teams from last season, both sitting bottom of the table. It's going to be another rolling ball here for the Bristol Bears. 74 minutes through this one now, marching forward. It's gone down once again. Tom Willis stuck on the ball, and it's going to be a scrum for the Sharks, for the Wasps. Once again, they are on fire at the moment. And Dan Robson just rubbing that man's neck all over the place. Looked like he tweaked it a little bit there, but he tweaked his hamstring a little bit earlier on, but he is still going for this match, ladies and gentlemen. Tom Willis, he's got to be almost up there for man of the match for myself, just with the amount of effort that he has put in. I'm going to see whether or not I can find some stats on him as well. That is what I am kind of doing off to the side, if anyone is wondering why I am looking this way, then this way, then this way type arrangement. I am seeing whether or not I can get us up some quick stats for the end of this one as well. Very nicely done by Tom Willis, that is for sure. And at this stage, I've just kind of had the realization, because of the fact that I don't normally think about, I think it's the time zone with daylight savings. Northampton won that game up against the Exeter Chiefs, ladies and gentlemen. That is a huge win for Northampton. So both sides who were top of the table last year are really struggling in the early stages of this competition. I'm interested in Wasps, especially since my Munster will be playing them twice in the Heineken Cup this season as well, says Kanakoinen. And at this stage, they had a very good performance in this game so far, it is fair to say. So we have to wait and see whether or not they can continue that. Tamaya said, still awake. We are indeed, mate. We are going right through, as long as the body allows it, we are going right through to about 10 a.m. So we have still got another 5 hours of streaming that we will be doing on the channel today. So it's a huge amount, but it is well and truly, there's some good games of rugby coming up. Munster taking on Leinster, and then also it will be the Sharks taking on Munster, and then Leinster taking on the Bulls as well. I've never quite nailed that order when I do try and say it. I have realised But now, once again, all the balls popping out this side, and it's another knock on against the Bristol Bears, and that is costing them big time. It is just wearing down the clock at the moment as well. And Hamish, you're a juggernaut as well, says Katie Dixon. I feel like by the end of this next game, I will possibly be starting to get a little bit loopy, but we will continue through it. We'll see how far we can get in the night. We might be going till the sun is up at the moment. It is pitch black. The moon, oh, tell you what, can you guys see the moon at the moment? We will see whether or not you guys can see it. No, you can't. It's right there. Kind of, no, it's so close. So close to being able to see it. The moon in the background. Tom Willis, they are giving him the man of the match by the sounds of it. And tell you what, he deserves it. He's had an incredible game there. Tom Willis working hard, playing harder. And at this stage now, he is going to be rewarded with a round of applause from the crowd in attendance for this game at Coventry. Coventry, I forget the name of it. It's Coventry Building Society Arena, which of course just rolls off the tongue in that regard. But the Harlequins look, they are going to get their win over Worcester. Newcastle looking like they will win up against Bath. And then at this stage, the Wasps, they will be winning this game up against the Bristol Bears. So Exeter losing another game, they are going to be sitting bottom of the table. Sorry, my voice is trying to disappear at the moment. Hopefully it lasts throughout these next couple of live streams that we have got planned on the channel as well. But nonetheless, I will quickly, actually, while we are at it as well, I do appreciate every single one of you for being here for this live stream. It was a little bit of a makeshift in-between type live stream between the matches that we have got. I am quickly, I guess you're seeing a little bit of the behind the scenes of what we do on the channel as well. I'm quickly going to be doing something that I can't remember what I was going to be doing. That's annoying. Commentary Building Society Arena. That's one awful name as well, says Kanakoin. And yeah, it's not the best one that I have ever heard, I'll be honest, in that regard. I was going to be doing something, but I can't remember what I was going to be doing now, which is rather unfortunate. What was I going to do? Don't you hate when that happens, when you think you've got something to do and then you're about to do it and then now you can't remember it? That is what I've got at the moment, and I can't think of what it was that I was going to do. That's really annoying. I feel like it was something important as well. I think it was something to do with the next live stream. There we are, doing it a little bit later on in that regard. But yeah, at this stage, it's going to be another scrum feed for these guys out there. It's going to be Randall now firing it back across. Nice little offload, Jacobu Munga. Got this ball just inside of the half at the moment. They should shorten it to CBS Arena as well. That actually has a decent ring to it, CBS Arena, rather than that massive about four-parter that they have got at the moment. Coventry Stadium even would be all right. Or Coventry Arena, I guess, could be a decent one if they had to try and go with it. But at this stage, the Bristol Bears, they have got this ball once again. Harry Randall passing it back. They want to get themselves one more try in this game. They've only got the one so far from their first two matches of the Gallagher Premiership. They will not be happy with that one bit here for the Bristol Bears. Passing it back once again. Little no flick pass there, or no look flick pass, I should say. At the back line once again, they've got the men available. Vui now running nicely here. Straightens offload on the outside to Lloyd with a quick step there. And he is getting dragged down extremely close to the touchline now. And Leinster, that's not the name. It was dropped there, and now it's going to be an answer. Bassett looking for the offload. Finds it to Tom Willis. That man deserves a try. And he's going to go all the way, is he? His legs were trying to give out, but they couldn't stop him. And he has been able to score the try, Tom Willis. What a try as well. Whoops, never mind as well. Oh boy, here comes in the rugby Disney moment as well. And you've legendary stadium names like Thorntman Park. That bears so much history. Nowadays, stadiums lose credibility when they lose naming rights to sponsors as well. Yeah, that is a good point. It's like Queensland Country Bank Stadium was where the games between the All Blacks and the Springboks and everyone were playing. They just don't have that same ring to them as those kind of olden day, kind of more... What could you say? Not olden day, but just kind of those, like you mentioned, the names that kind of have a meaning behind them as well is something we love to see in that regard. But he did it very nicely at Bassett, and he was able to score himself that try. I feel happy for the man as well. I will update my scoreboard in a very short moment. But the Wasps, is that going to be the final try of this match? It could be the case. We are actually supposed to be transferring over to a live stream in about 2 seconds when it does reach 4:55, but I will delay that one just a little bit more. But I will mention, if you guys are keen to see that one, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. We are going to be transferring straight over to it in a very short moment. Once I do get it all up and running, I believe I have done that one there. I'm just trying to make sure that I have got all the screenshots. I don't actually think I do. I think I'm missing Leinster's, unfortunately, which is going to be one of those downfalls, because that means that I've got to try and pronounce all of the names of the kind of bat. I guess you could say that 4:55 is the time at the moment. This one's going to be a kick for Jimmy Gothers once again. and we are sitting at 79. Now, what I might do, I do apologize in advance, but we are sitting at the kind of stage that I was going to be going over to my other live stream. So I am going to be transferring relatively soon over to that live stream pretty much straight after the match is finished. But what we will be doing is we will be continuing with our momentum that we have got at the moment, because we are live streaming all the way through the night, ladies and gentlemen. So if you do want to help out and keep on supporting these live streams, we will be going straight over to that match that will be taking place between, and it will be Leinster and the Bulls as well. It's going to be another great run here, and the Wasps, they get another one. And that is going to help us out, because that is going to be full time, ladies and gentlemen. The Wasps are going to win this game 40. Tell you what, that's going to be 44 points to 8. The Wasps has obliterated them there. Yeah, nonetheless, we will be switching straight over to Leinster versus the Bulls, as that will be full time with this one going over. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you all in an extremely short moment for our Leinster versus Bulls live stream that we will be doing right now. But I will see you all in a short moment.